Visitors to Commonwealth Stadium are advised to play their absolute best and sometimes over their heads. That could be the task facing the Toronto Argos. They should not expect the Eskimos to be genial hosts after their lopsided defeat in Regina. Tonight, the Toronto Argos visit the Edmonton Eskimos in Week 8 of the CFL on CBC. It has been a roller coaster season for the Eskimos, and it was evident last week at Taylor Field in Regina. Tracy Ham was sacked 5 times by the Rough Riders, and the Eskimos suffered one of their worst losses in recent memory, giving up 49 points. A year ago at this time, the Eskimos were the biggest attraction in the carnival. After 7 weeks, they were 6-1. But this year, they've already lost 3. Not a disaster, but the way in which they lost last week has Joe Faragelli greatly concerned. The Argos' Don Matthews is concerned because he can't keep a quarterback healthy. It's as though they've been in a shooting gallery. First, Matt Dunnigan went down. Then John Kangemi, Tom Porras, and Ricky Foggy remained. Foggy, in his 3rd CFL season, was plucked from the practice roster of the BC Lions this week. He'll back up Tom Porras, who'll try to redeem himself for an interception that cost the Argos victory against Winnipeg last week. Tonight, Tom Porras gets his first start of the CFL season.
The CFL on CBC. Brought to you by Molson Canadian. What beer's all about. By Priority Courier, the official courier of the CFL. And by Diet 7-Up. Challenge your taste.
The man in charge of tonight's game is Bill McDonald. He and the other members of the officiating staff move into position as the Argos prepare to kick off to the Edmonton Eskimos. Colbert and Williams are back to receive the kickoff from Lance Chomick. This scramble formation that the Argos use on their kickoff. With the blowing of the whistle, they head out in various directions. It's a squib ball bouncing back to Colbert. And Williams gets it out to the 45-yard line. That's where Edmonton will scrimmage 1st and 10 after the 15-yard return.
Well, we're going to see Tracy Ham in action tonight, averaging about 8 yards every time he runs the football. And the biggest thing he's got to do is get back to playing football the way Tracy Ham knows how. And that means run when the opportunity presents itself. So that's what we look for from him.
Keith Wright wide to the left. Craig Ellis to the right. He and Williams in motion. The fake inside. Intended for Blake Marshall coming out of the backfield. It's incomplete.
Well played by Darryl Ford. Bruce Elliott's going to be the contain man. What they do is try to stop him and then slip that fullback out. But sitting there waiting on it. We talk about Tracy Ham. We talked about Reggie Taylor in the opening. If they can get it rolling up front, good shape. Craig Ellis and Keith Wright. They've got to play big roles tonight for the Eskimos.
Ham with time. Can't complete the pass. Marco Sincar was the man he was looking for at the 50-yard line, and Ham was fortunate that he was able to step up and get good protection and unload that ball.
One of the things the Argonauts want to do is keep Tracy Ham in the pocket. They felt that the reason Saskatchewan had success last week is they got the ends upfield on them and the tackles squeezing from the inside, and there were no openings. And that's right there. Ham had nowhere to run, so he had to step up to throw the ball.
McAreedy stands at his own 30-yard line for this 3rd down kick. Darrell Smith was the lone man back. Smith picks it up at the 25. And Smith is forced out of bounds over on the far side of the field. McLean was the man who forced him out. Tom Porras drawing the starting assignment tonight for the Toronto Argonauts.
Well, we feel Tom Porras is not only the quarterback, but he is the #1 key tonight for the Toronto Argonauts. He must be patient. He must not turn the football over. The Argonauts have turned it over 40 times this year. He cannot do that against the Eskimos and expect to win.
Tom Porras, a couple of years ago, in the uniform of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, came in here as a starting quarterback and led the Ticats to a big upset of the Edmonton Eskimos. The Argos are hoping the same will happen tonight. Jeff Boyd was the intended receiver. He had no opportunity as he attempted to go up high over the top of Keith Gooch and haul that Porras throw in.
In fact, he made a good play. He played defense and knocked it down for him. We talk about Porras being the #1 key. Darrell Smith inside. I look for the Eskimos to try to take him away, but he's got to be a factor. Mike Clemens, whether he's running, catching passes, or returning kicks, has got to have a big game for him also.
2nd and 10 Toronto. The ball at the 26-yard line. Porras to Boyd, and Boyd won't get anything. He'll pick up about 3 yards. Braswell was on one of those in on the stop, so it's 2 and out for the Toronto Argonauts, just as it was for the Eskimos.
Well, they tried to drag Jeff Boyd underneath to get the corner to come up on him, and then they was going to throw behind him, but they didn't bite on it, force him to throw short to Boyd. He has no chance to get 10 yards with that particular pass.
Henry Williams, the lone man back for this Glenn Harper 3rd down punt, as Harper stands at his own 13-yard line. And some teams this year in the Canadian Football League, particularly the Saskatchewan Roughriders, their field goal kicker has attempted more field goals than their punter has kicked the ball. Williams to the 50-yard line of the Toronto Argonauts. A good return by the Gizmo. And for their 2nd offensive series, they enjoy excellent field position.
Brought down by Darrell Ford, the Argonauts.
Well, you look at that right here. That tells you how tough it is to win at Commonwealth Stadium.
That does not include playoff action, because they lost at home last year in the Western Final to the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Well, I'd always like, if I'm going to play the Eskimos in Commonwealth, I want it to be in a final game, because I think the pressure's on them then.
Taylor gets around the corner and gets a 1st down.
That's the play we talked about in the opening. They bring that center and the right tackle, in this case Trevor Bowles, and here they come. That's that counter play. Takes that step right here. You see him get in behind number 66, makes a good block, Trevor Bowles, and then Reggie Taylor just does what he does best, and that's run with the ball.
The Eskimos use the hurry-up offense, and the pass is complete to Keith Wright for a 1st down at the 22-yard line. The Eskimos in previous years have used the hurry-up offense, not so much as a tactic against the opposition, but trying to motivate themselves.
It's a momentum builder. A lot of coaches will use it when their offense is sluggish. Things aren't going well. They say, let's go to the hurry-up. It makes everybody perk up mentally, and maybe they can get the offense in gear.
Ham has time for Wright, over his head, incomplete. He was being covered by Berry. It will be 2nd and 10. The ball is at the 23-yard line.
We had a nice talk with Joe Farragelli yesterday, just talking about Tracy Ham's play and him talking about why they use their hurry-up offense. And he believes that he has to go to that sometime because they get a little bit lazy.
No problems there with Craig Ellis wide open in the end zone.
You have to jam those slot backs coming off the line of scrimmage. Craig Ellis, being a running back, he's excellent at getting away from anybody trying to hit him. Comes down the field, watch him. Just gives him a move. Bang, right inside. No way you can stop him. No one hit him. No one slowed him down. And then Tracy Ham just leads him into the end zone. You must hit those slot backs to slow him down.
He cut inside a former teammate, Don Wilson, to grab that Tracy Ham throw in the end zone. And now the point after. And it's a 7-0 ball game. The Edmonton Eskimos in front, and will return with the Eskimo kickoff after this.
How you doing?
Joanne's keys, please.
Well, it only required 4 plays for the Eskimos to move 50 yards in 58 seconds. And the 23-yard pass to Craig Ellis produced the touchdown, and here it is.
It's a good blocking. Tracy Ham's got nothing in front of him, not even his offensive line. And when Ellis gives the move to the inside, no one slows him down. You're making it very easy for Tracy Ham to complete that pass.
And they anticipated that Tracy Ham this year would be throwing more touchdown passes than he did in the past. But Joe Farragelli still wants Tracy Ham to do what he does best. If he's in trouble, run that football.
You can't change the way you play, and he is a runner. He comes out of a running program.
John Field on the kickoff return got the ball back to the 37-yard line, a 27-yard run back after that 54-yard kickoff.
The Eskimos have been kind of a strange team this year. You know, you think back to the Saskatchewan game here at Commonwealth Stadium, they sacked Saskatchewan quarterbacks 10 times. The next game they played, they can't get pressure on the quarterback. They're still looking for a consistent 60 minutes of football.
There's the handoff to Clemens, and Clemens has a convoy out front, but getting through to break it up is Jeff Braswell.
That's a good play by Braswell. It looked like Clemens has two blockers in front of him, and he's going to give him a fake to the inside and go outside, and Braswell beats everybody and makes the tackle.
Braswell has been criticized by some Edmonton newspaper columnists for his antics on the field, but he can celebrate that type of performance.
When you make the plays, you can celebrate. There's no doubt about that.
One-handed catch by Kevin Smelly, and he's got a Toronto first down. Mark Norman made the tackle, but not before Smelly got up to the 53-yard line.
Smelly's been a pleasant surprise for the Argonauts this year. Drafted by the Saskatchewan Roughriders, traded into the Argonauts this year. He's running well, and then he shows right here he's got good hands, just reaches out and one-hands it. Someone blew the coverage because he shouldn't be that wide open, but he gets the first down. They know he can run. The big improvement he needs, from what I can understand, is his blocking, but catching and running, he's excellent at.
First and 10, sideline pattern, and Smith goes out of bounds with a gain of about 5 yards. Well, Don Matthews, in referring to the CFL being a September-October league, was just stressing the importance of getting a team into the playoffs.
And getting a team in position by the end of August to make that run down the stretch in September, October to get to those playoffs. That's a big thing right now.
This is intercepted, and it's Danny Bass, the middle linebacker, who steps in front of that Tom Porras throw. And the Eskimos will take over at their own 44-yard line.
Right there was an example, Donna, what we was talking about. You have to be patient. He tries to force the ball in. Look at Danny Bass. He's looking right at Porras. You're never going to throw that football in there. You got to try to look Bass out of there. Bass took Tom Porras' eyes, went right to where he was looking, and as a result, he's in position to intercept.
You don't want to challenge the man who is regarded by most as the premier middle linebacker in the CFL.
Yeah, he's seen everything. Once he gets a read on you, you're in trouble.
Reggie Taylor cutting back inside, getting some blocking help. He's got a gain of 11.
Reggie Taylor, the ball carrying to the Eskimos, just for the first down.
124 yards the first time the teams met this season. He appears intent tonight upon breaking that.
Well, he ran for over 1,500 yards last year, so if he's going to improve on that, he's got to get rolling.
Keith Wright is wide open. The ball comes loose, and the Toronto Argonauts have come up with it. Don Wilson was there to scoop up the loose football after it popped away, and while Don Matthews was upset with the interception yielded by Tom Porras, he is happy that the fumble recovery was made by Don Wilson.
Well, you saw Reg Berry slip and fall. Wright catches it, tries to spin out, but he didn't hold on to the football, and when Chris Gaines came in from that middle linebacker spot to hit him, that ball popped loose, so they're just about back where they started that drive when they turned it over.
First and 10, the ball is at the 36-yard line as we pick up live action. The Argos under the direction of Tom Porras. They hit screen to Mike Clemens. And the Edmonton Eskimos were ready for that one as Jeff Braswell again gets through to make the tackle.
Well, they got tremendous force on it. They squeezed it. They throw that ball out to the flanker, and if you take a look, you'll see a green jersey to the outside, and then Braswell coming from the inside. There is nowhere to run. That's just good defense.
The Argo game plan was to try and get the ball into the hands of Mike Clemens as much as possible. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Horace was looking over the middle for Darrell Smith.
He made the right read. Smith was breaking open over the middle, but Brett Williams got that big right hand up and just played a little volleyball with it and spiked it. You see him standing right in there. Now watch that big right hand. There it is. And you can see the hole behind him. That's where Darrell Smith was running. But the thing is, if you can't get to the quarterback, get the hand up, force him to throw it over.
And that's something that's difficult to do for a defensive lineman when he's engaged with one of those offensive linemen who's trying to put him on the seat of his pants.
And you would think with all the air up there how he finds the football. You know, there's a lot of places he could reach and not hit it.
Good kick by Harper. It chases Williams back to the 15-yard line. Look out. Ryan Hansen prevented the gizmo from going all the way. As it is, it's a 49-yard run back.
What?
7:58 is the time remaining in the first quarter. We'll be back after this. Those are the leading four in the punt return department. Not surprisingly, Henry Williams is number one. Most expected that he would be. He has that great speed, that acceleration, and he doesn't need much of an opening.
They have the right idea, kick it to the sidelines, but when you kick it to the right side of the field, you must get a contained man up on the left side of the field to prevent Williams from getting all the way to the open side. So it was a great kick, but it's very, very poor coverage.
49 yards on the run back, 1st and 10 for the Eskimos. They are at the 42 of the Argos. They lead the ball game 7-0. Blake Marshall picked up perhaps 2 yards before he was stacked up by the Toronto defense.
What's up, Ricky and Joe? Back in Saskatchewan. I know you're watching. Randall Cunningham, Norman. What's up, Dave in Toronto? That was for you, Doc. Later.
Did he miss anyone?
I don't think so. He might think of someone to pass the message along to a little later. This was almost intercepted by the free safety. Field. Tracy Ham actually overthrowing his intended receiver.
They squeezed that pocket down. Parker and Harding coming from the sides. And just as Ham delivers the football, he gets that pressure and the ball's delivered high, overthrows the receiver, and is very fortunate it wasn't intercepted.
Ray McAreedy will be attempting a field goal of 47 yards. That would equal his longest field goal of this 1990 season. It's short, and the Toronto Argonauts' Carl Braisley concedes a single point. So with 7:02 remaining in this opening quarter, the Argos trail by 8 points.
Talked to Don Matthews before the game, asked him, you know, without Dunnigan and Nkongemi, now with Tom in there, does he limit the number of plays he has to run? He says, nope. He has the same number of plays anybody else would have, and he will call them. So we're not going to call him for him. He's on his own. It's his game. And you know what? Quarterback can't ask for anything better than that.
And the only time the Argos go with the huddle is when they take over on a 1st and 10 situation, such as they do now at the 40-yard line. And the reason they're scrimmaging at the 40, I'll remind you again, that's the point the ball was scrimmaged by the Argos on that missed field goal attempt that went for a single point.
We saw the slot back for the Argonauts come back down in motion to be a blocker. As soon as he comes back to block, they blitz the halfback Jackson, and then as a result, the Argonauts throw the slant where he is. That, if you continue to throw that pass, you'll take him out of that halfback blitz.
Paul Masadi on the receiving end of the throw, providing Toronto with a 1st down up at the 53-yard line. 3 receivers, wide right. Horace, however, looks to his left, can't find anyone over there, will run the ball and forced out of bounds at the midfield stripe.
the type of pattern he had called, he was expecting man-to-man coverage. He didn't get it. You saw the linebackers drop out of there at the snap. As a result, he couldn't get it in close, in the short area where he wanted, so he pulls it down and runs. And that's good for Tom to do, because that way he's being patient, not trying to force that ball.
It's a gain of 2, 2nd and 8 for the Argos from midfield. They trail by a score of 8-0. 5:57 is the time remaining in the opening quarter. Same type of formation, 3 receivers to the right. Flipped up for Masadi. Can't grab it, but even had he been able to haul that throw in, he would have been out of bounds.
That's just a good job done by Keith Gooch on the corner. He got on the inside shoulder of Masadi. Masadi was only about 2 yards from the sideline to start with, so he just kept him there all the way down the field, and that does not give the quarterback anywhere to throw the ball. He had delivered it to his outside shoulder, which he did, but it's 5 yards out of bounds.
Don Matthews will be looking for better punt coverage on this Glenn Harper kick than he got the previous kick when Henry Williams returned it 49 yards after a 58-yard kick by Glenn Harper. Another big kick by Harper, but this one goes out of bounds. He won't get the distance he was looking for because that ball crossed the sidelines at the 27-yard line, and that's where the Eskimos will scrimmage when we return.
Edmonton Eskimos probably the healthiest team in the CFL. They'll get even healthier next week when Leroy Blue comes back from a month on the injury list. And Leroy, you've been around the team all week getting ready to come back. What's the mood on the Eskimos roster? Do they want to get their game back together given the heat you've been under this week for being in disarray last week in Saskatchewan?
Well, I don't think there's much panicking going on with our team because we have a lot of good athletes, and the coaches know what we can do. You know, they know it's just a few little things that we have to correct, and you know, like we said, we learned last year, it's not what you do in the regular season, it's what happens in the playoffs. So, you know, we've got a lot of time to deal with those things.
Right, Joe Farragelli says, rather be 9-9 and win the Grey Cup than 16-2 and lose in the playoffs. Thank you, Leroy.
All right, thanks a lot.
Don?
And there has been some speculation as to possible roster changes by the Edmonton Eskimos when Blue does return. Reggie Taylor unable to get outside as the Argos were well prepared for that one, and they drop him for a rather sizable loss with Don Wilson coming up from his halfback position to pressure. Taylor goes down back at the 13-yard line.
They had success against the Argonauts in the opening game running that toss, but as you say, Wilson gets across the line of scrimmage. Now he's got to turn back in where he gets in trouble.
Second down pass intended for Colbert. It's incomplete, and the Eskimos are 2 and out with 4:39 remaining in this opening quarter. Joe Farragelli had an interesting comment yesterday. He said, as coaches, we can tell the players what we want done and prepare them for a game. Make sure they know exactly what they're supposed to do. We can't make them any tougher. We can't make them any faster. We can't make them any stronger.
That's all done before they ever get to the Eskimos, how big, fast, and strong they are. That's a coach's job, is to make sure the people in his coaching area understand their every role on every play, and that's all you can do. You turn it over to them once that game starts.
Darrell Smith waits for McAreedy's kick, a penalty flag in the play. This will be a no yards call undoubtedly against the Edmonton Eskimos and will improve the Toronto field position. A 41-yard kick that time. It seemed as though Michael Souls was the Eskimo that encroached upon the 5-yard area.
No yards. Edmonton number 16, first down.
Kevin Clark was the player, and Joe Farragelli is upset with the call. Michael Souls was in there as well. However, it was Kevin Clark that the officials called for being inside the 5-yard area.
I think he's complaining he was pushed into it rather than going in on his own. Looks like he said that Argonaut pushed him in there, therefore you can't call it.
First and 10 from the 38-yard line. Hand off to Clemens. And Clemens is pushed back after he penetrated the 35. by 3 Eskimo defenders.
Well, that's what the coaches refer to as a lead draw. The other back, in this case, number 5, Kevin Smelly, he's the lead blocker. You take it back like it's a pass, hand it to Clemens, then he follows the halfback, or in this case, Smelly. But Larry Ruck was there to make the stop and limit it to 3 yards.
Don Matthews, who was an assistant coach here during the reign of 5 consecutive Grey Cups before moving on to be head coach of the BC Lions. The pass is complete to Masadi. He's going to go all the way. Paul Masadi broke the initial contact and carried on to the end zone as the Toronto Argonauts get back in the ball game.
That's just outstanding effort by Masadi. It's just a slant pattern, and Porras held the ball. Watch him hold the ball till he comes into the open. Now, he should be throwing it right now, but he holds it a little longer into the hole. Now it's just a matter of they didn't tack him. They pushed him. You saw number 14, Francis, give him a push, but he did not wrap the arms. Masadi kept his balance, and he's got great speed when he gets in the open.
Paul Masadi scores the Toronto touchdown. Lance Chomick adds the point after, and with 3:18 remaining in the quarter, it's now a 1-point ball game. Masadi had a touchdown reception last week against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Edmonton coach Joe Farragelli said the Eskimos considered drafting Masadi when he was with Acadia University in the first round of the 1988 CFL college draft, but they opted for linebacker Brian Ford of Washington State instead.
Well, we got the reverse angle that you saw Tom Porras. When quarterback takes that 3-step drop, he usually plants that foot and throws it, but you have to wait till the receiver's in the open. Masadi made the catch, turned it into a touchdown. Last year he was on and off the roster. This year going to training camp, he had some conversations with Coach Matthews and his staff. They explained to him what his role would be this year, and he's adapted to it very well. In fact, he's getting better every game out. And now I think he has the confidence now to be a great receiver in the league.
I think there was some concern early about his concentration during the full 60 minutes.
Well, you know, that can happen. If you're not playing a lot, and last year he was on and off the roster, you do have to get used to playing.
Instant field position. Henry Williams gets it back to the 50-yard line on the Eskimo kickoff return. A run back of 33.
And it's a good thing Carl Brazeley got a hold of him. You know, the Giz only needs a little bit of room, and he's got that great acceleration, which all good kick returners have. When they see the opening, bang, they are through it, and then they cause nothing but problems, and Brazeley had to run them down from behind.
Tracy Ham had his difficulties last week in that 49-24 loss to Saskatchewan. Just an off night is the way Joe Farragelli explained it. 12 completions in 26 attempts. He was under pressure all night as well. Looking for Keith Wright. It's incomplete. He was being covered by Ed Berry.
And he got good pressure from Rodney Harding. That's what caused the pass to go low. Rodney Harding, who now they feel they've got away from double teaming him because of Holman moving inside. Harding got the pressure into Ham's face, and he wasn't able to step and throw like a quarterback has to, and it comes up short.
Hold on 50, hold on 50.
Ham gets away from the pressure, trying to get to the outside. Throws, and yes, Marco Sinkar comes up with the football for an Eskimo first down, even though there were 3 defenders around him.
You get a little bit lucky at times, and to me, when you're like that, watch the pressure come. Number 77 is going to come right to the inside, chases him out. Now the race is on. Elliott's after him, Holman's after him. But when you throw across your body back into the middle of the field, you're asking to have it intercepted. And as you say, 3 white jerseys could have just as easily got the ball.
No question about Colbert getting this one. He was open. He has another Eskimo first down.
Well, now you see when the quarterback can step, throw the ball the way he should. It's on the line and into the receiver's hands, in this case, Colbert, and then he turns it into a big game.
He led the Eskimo receivers with 8 catches in that losing effort to Saskatchewan. 1st and 10, Edmonton. The pitch to Reg Taylor, and Taylor gets to the 20-yard line. Maybe it was only the 21 before he was stacked up with 1:43 remaining in the quarter.
Well, we said they want to run the football. Watch for Randy Ambrosi, the right guard, right now. He blocks out on Chris Gaines, and Taylor just cuts right in behind him, and he gets 5 yards. And, boy, you get 5 yards every time you run, you're in for a long night on that defensive line.
1:27 remaining in the opening quarter. Ham's going to run this one himself. field forces him out of bounds, but not before Tracy Ham gets another Edmonton first down.
That has to please Coach Farragelli to see Tracy Ham just take off. You know, in college, I know this. Tracy Ham is taught when he was young, if you get outside and they give you the corner, you pull the ball down and run. There is nobody pushing Tracy Ham, so he just turns it upfield, and he's an excellent runner. Watch this. Didn't even phase it. Put that hand out, slow down John Field, and just step out of bounds. But that's what he's got to do.
Draw play with Marshall. He has another first down to the 1. It will be first and goal, Edmonton.
Just a draw play again behind Rod Conniff and Randy Ambrosi. He hand the ball off to Marshall, and then he will cut right off the block right in the middle. Watch him. Here he comes. Pierre Vercheval gets out. Brent Gaines doesn't make the tackle. Look how low Marshall runs. Very difficult to get underneath him.
The interesting thing about Marshall, Johnston, and Souls at that blocking back position, although they have been employed effectively as running backs, is that they substitute themselves.
Sometimes I find that hard to believe.
Well, Marshall is going to stay in there because he wants the touchdown. He carried to the 1, and he gets the call to take it into the end zone.
Well, that's usually what he does. He gets the yardage when it's tough. Third down and short. Get it down near the goal line at 230 pounds. He gets moving straight ahead. Very difficult to stop.
You know, while the Eskimos are in position this year to establish a league record for scoring points, they could also come pretty close to the league record for giving up points, and that has Joe Farragelli upset.
Well, I think it upsets him a little bit until he stops and think about it, that every team in the league seems to be giving up a lot of points each year. I know everybody wants your defense to shut them out. Offensive coaches always tell the defensive coaches this: if you shut them out, the worst we can do is tie.
McAreedy adds the point after to the Blake Marshall touchdown, and with 31 seconds remaining, it is now a 15-7 lead for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Watch him come up in there. Boy, that's good blocking. Just block down. You see Brett Williams comes in at that end position. He just caves the whole side of the line in, and it makes it very easy for Blake Marshall.
Where's a man on you?
7 plays to cover 61 yards for the Edmonton Eskimos. So they come right back after that Toronto Argonaut touchdown. A University of Western Ontario product. 6'1", 230-pound Blake Marshall puts it in the end zone.
You know, most teams carry a lot of linebackers on their club. They carry a lot of running backs. You know, you talk about, there's Walling, Johnstone, Marshall, Souls, and Reggie Taylor, and they work the special teams for them. Normally, linebackers are the guys that cover kicks, but in their case, they get their running backs involved.
The kickoff bounces in front of field. He takes it at the 20-yard line. And the Eskimos are downfield quickly. That is Souls who makes the tackle.
Just talking about running backs on the kickoff covering team. Michael Souls is an outstanding runner, but he does a good job on special teams. He gets down there and limits it to a short return.
Just 10 yards on that return. And that has been one of the big differences early in the ball game. The kickoff and punt return provided by Henry Williams as opposed to what the Argos have been doing.
Hey, the gives you instant field position if you don't get him in a hurry, and that's what Toronto's got to do. They got to stop him, and then they got to get a little better yardage on their returns.
15 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. Torres took a pretty good hit from Kevin Clark, and Clark earned a berth in that Edmonton secondary on the basis of his hitting ability.
Well, you can see that one coming. The slot back block, so Tom Porras has no receiver over there to throw the football to. He was trying to get to the sideline, and Clark lined him up, and as you say, that's how he won that job, because of his hitting ability. Those halfbacks have to be able to force a run and hit.
This should be the final play of the opening quarter, 2nd and 8. Now, Porras had Masadi well covered, and he was fortunate that one wasn't picked off by the Eskimos. So that is the end of the opening quarter, with the Eskimos in front by 8. And we appreciate the welcome on the scoreboard at Commonwealth Stadium, our first visit to Edmonton this season. And the Eskimos have certainly compiled quite a record since they moved into this facility following the 1978 Commonwealth Games.
It's a tough place to win. Clark Stadium was no easier now, but they just carried on the tradition.
Now, you remember Clark Stadium well, don't you?
Too many times.
Not with particular fondness, though. No opportunity on the return for Larry Ruck.
For the Eskimos. No gain on the play.
A 37-yard kick. Mike Campbell was downfield to make the tackle. As one might expect with the Eskimos leading by 8, they also have the edge. Statistically, the big advantage, 45 rushing yards to just 4 for the Toronto Argonauts.
Toronto just doesn't run the football very much anyway. They come into the night with the last time they played the Eskimos, they only ran for 46 yards, didn't they? So therefore, they've got to rely on that pass.
Penalty flag goes down. Harding supplying the pressure. And this ball on the deflection caught by the gizmo. But there is a penalty flag on the play. It will likely be brought back for holding.
Well, I think it's Rodney Harding. He got, again, coming from that inside, he got pressure inside, forced Tracy Ham out, and his Ham ran out of there. Harding's jersey kind of was stretched a little bit, and I think they caught him.
Holding. Number 57, Edmonton. First down.
The holding call goes against University of Manitoba grad Randy Ambrosi.
Watch just to the right of your screen. You see Ambrosi blocking on Harding. Now, as Ham runs out, watch the jersey. Ambrosi just pulls it, slows him down, and the referee will catch that every time.
Pitch screen, incomplete. Williams unable to hang on to that ball on first and 20. It's second and 20.
And you know the Giz will be upset about that. You get the ball into his hands, away from the action, get it away from all those linebackers, and that can be a big play for him, and he just forgot to catch it first.
You know what's fascinating about the Giz? He built his reputation as a punt and kickoff returner, and he firmly believes that he can return every one he handles.
Well, that's what he tells you. He just can't believe that he can get tackled.
Ham gets the pressure, and this time he can't get away. He is going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Rodney Harding, not being held this time, was there to make the tackle.
Yeah, that's what you refer to as a coverage sack. That was excellent coverage downfield by the Toronto Argonaut defense. Tracy Ham had all day to throw the football, but he had no one to throw to, and eventually a guy like Harding is going to get you.
Ray McAreedy back to his own 15-yard line for this third down kick. This time Mike Clemens is the lone man back for the Argos.
He knows a little bit about returning kicks too. This could be a very interesting duel tonight.
Good kick by McAreedy. That chases Clemens back to the 25-yard line. He gets a couple of blocks, and he gets to the outside. And Colbert prevents him from going all the way as he makes the tackle at the 50-yard line. An excellent run back by Mike Clemens, and the Argos have great field position with 13:07 left in the half. Number 1 is Darrell Smith, the Argos' leading receiver, and I think he's having some problems in this game getting off the line of scrimmage as he's being jammed, but we're going to take a look at the return of Clemens as the initial man downfield. Blake Marshall missed him.
They do a good job of forcing him inside, but the first man missed him, but watch the block outside. Number 20 just went by. Don Wilson makes the block and allows Clemens to turn the corner, and he's an excellent return man, and the Argonauts have good field position. But as talking about Darrell Smith, what you're saying is anytime a slot back causes you trouble, he caught 10 passes against the Eskimos last game. They're going to knock him around coming off the line so that it'll mess up the timing between him and Tom Porras.
Porras is 6 of 11 in the passing department. He's going to throw deep, intended for Boyd. Just at the last moment, Mark Norman got an arm up to deflect it away from Jeff Boyd.
Mark Norman just lifted his head at the right time. And what you do is when the receiver turns to go for the ball, the defensive back will put up his hand and raise his head. And that's what he did. He got the hand on it to knock it down.
Here's a bit of trivia for you. What did Jeff Boyd, Craig Ellis, and Willard Reeves have in common? They were all cut by the Edmonton Eskimos in 1983. Wide open is Andrew Murray. to the 20-yard line.
That was a heck of a throw by Tom Porras. He got a lot of pressure. He has to throw it off of his back foot, which no quarterback likes to do. And the ball got up high. Watch the pressure come inside on Porras. He fakes the drop, but watch him leaning back. He's leaning to the back, throws it up high, and Andrew Murray's a big target anyway. Wide open in the middle, and now they're down in scoring position.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Kevin Smelly with his first carry of the ball game as a running back stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Saskatchewan Rough Rider coach John Gregory was telling me yesterday they really didn't want to give up Smelly, but they had to make the deal because they felt they were solid at that running back position, and the Argos are looking for Smelly to be a big part of their future.
Yeah, he's going up there holding his left arm, whether it's a shoulder or an arm, we'll have to find out. But he can run with a football, and he wasn't drafted #1 because he didn't have ability, but he did face tough competition in Saskatchewan. They're pretty solid.
Masadi makes the catch. He'll be very close to the first down, depending on where they spot the football.
Brought down by Danny Bass.
It's right on the 10-yard line, and that should be a first down. It is.
Clear it out up the field, and Masadi comes underneath, makes that catch. Tell you what, when he starts catching them in the middle, when wide receivers will carry him in there and catch him, I'll tell you, now you got to play it.
The Argos are 50% their scoring rate from inside the 25-yard line. There appeared to be a bit of a mix-up between the intended receiver, Jeff Boyd, and the quarterback, Tom Porras.
Well, usually you'll get an automatic read between a quarterback and a receiver. If that cornerback, in this particular case, Andre Francis, and Boyd's trying to go to the inside, if Francis lines up there, then the quarterback expects Boyd to go right down the sideline and we'll just throw it to you, and Boyd didn't do it. He went inside, so he felt he could get in there, but you're going to have those miscommunications.
Well, Don Matthews, I'm sure, would have felt much more confident coming into the ball game with the man who's standing beside him as his quarterback, Matt Dunnigan, but he's hurt. Tom Porras hasn't done a bad job so far. Into the end zone. It's intercepted by Mark Norman.
Double coverage. Free safety, Mark Norman standing where he should, looking at the quarterback. As soon as Porras turned to his left, Norman takes off, makes the interception. That's a free safety, and that's why.
And that's one of the reasons Matthews was a little critical of Porras last week in the game against Winnipeg.
Yeah, he said he did not see Les Brown. When he threw the ball out there, Les Brown stepped in front and made the interception. The free safety, you may not see him, but he sees you. You know, we always talk about quarterbacks reading a defense. The defense reads the quarterback's eyes, and when he turns his eyes to the left and cocks the arm, Mark Norman goes to the ball.
So Mark Norman turns it over. A UBC product. And turnovers have certainly hurt the Argos during the course of the season. 42 of them in total. Taylor, the ball carrier, up to the 30-yard line, maybe even the 31 for a gain of about 6.
Yeah, talking with Adam Reeder yesterday, the offensive coach of the Argonauts in the airport before we left, he said, I've never seen a year where you turn the ball over so many times. He said, we even got last week, if you remember, they started fumbling the snap at center, which you should never do, ever. And they fumbled it twice.
Ian Beckstead and Tom Porras last week having trouble with that exchange. As a result, they worked on it in the very brief practice they had this week in getting ready for Edmonton. Chris Johnstone in there in place of Blake Marshall, and he was stacked up by the middle linebacker Chris Gaines and Darryl Ford.
Those two linebackers have had, in fact, all three Toronto linebackers have had great seasons. But that Chris Gaines and Darryl Ford, we watched Darryl Ford when they were in Ottawa last week, and he stepped up in the hole and he made some hits, and he took on a big man right there and made a hit.
They're measuring to see whether Johnston got the first down. They're that much short.
Third down and
Well, Matt Dunnigan had been wearing the headset. He has now turned it over to Tom Porras, who is in communication with the coaching staff upstairs in the press box.
Well, I'll probably have Matt has sensitive ears, and he may not have wanted to hear what they had to say to Porras.
The Eskimos gambling on 3rd and inches. There appeared to be some movement at the line of scrimmage. There was no penalty flag, but it really doesn't matter because Tracy Ham gets it anyway.
I was teasing Matt Dunnigan before the game down there, and he says, well, I'm on the sidelines again. I said, you're going to have to be careful. You're going to start to enjoy it over there. He said, no, I don't think so.
Dunnigan has been a game-to-game proposition for the Argos after he was hurt in that Hamilton game, they really thought that he'd only be out one game.
Well, I think when we had Matt on a week ago and he talked about his injury, I think he realized he hurt it afterwards as much as they did when he injured it by not resting it.
This is Reggie Taylor. He fumbles the football and gets it back.
Taylor, the ball carrier.
Tackled by Don Wilson and Darrell Ford. And Wilson was just beaten to that loose football by the man who dropped it, Reggie Taylor.
We talk about it. Here we go. Look, he cuts in. There's Trevor Bowles again. He cuts clear back into the middle and turns it outside. Watch number 8, Tracy Hamm, come into your picture. He's going to go up and try to block. But in the meantime, they drop the ball, and they are very fortunate to get it back. I was watching Tracy Hamm. I was going to see if he hit somebody, and he did.
That was an 18-yard run by Reggie Taylor. This is Chris Johnson for a gain of about 5 with 8:12 remaining in the half. 15-7 is the score. Edmonton in front. Taylor won the rushing title last year. He appears intent upon repeating in 1990. This one is complete to Colbert. He's become a favorite target of quarterback Tracy Hamm.
He sure has. Came in with 22 receptions and 3 touchdowns. And as you say, he was the big man last week in their loss. But Tracy Hamm rolls to his left, and he just held on to the football until Colbert could find the hole that Tracy Hamm wanted to throw it into, and he let him have it.
The Eskimos with that no-huddle offense, 1st and 10 from just inside the 40. Here comes Parker, Elliott, and Hallman, and Hamm, as a result, is forced to throw it away. He was looking for Craig Ellis. It will be 2nd and 10. You know, I talked about Craig Ellis, Jeff Boyd, and Willard Reeves a while back and what they had in common. Can you imagine those 3 players being cut by the Edmonton Eskimos back in 1983? They were so deep in running back and receiving positions that the 3 of them couldn't make the club.
I want to know who they kept.
Well, they kept the likes of Jim Germany, Brian Kelly, Waddell Smith, Tommy Scott.
Well, I can see why they were let go. Those guys were pretty good football players they had.
Carl Breesley on the coverage for the
Hamm was looking for Marco Sincar, who was being covered by Carl Breesley. And it's 3rd and 10 for the Eskimos. Willard Reeves and Jeff Boyd went on to great careers with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Craig Ellis went down to Calgary and bounced over to Saskatchewan and then to Toronto before winding up with the Eskimos, being signed as a free agent last year.
They all had great careers. You know, yeah, if you check a lot of the rosters, you're going to find the Eskimos had a lot of guys come through here.
Another 47-yard field goal attempt by Ray McAreedy. The previous one fell short. This one is good. 6:57 is the time remaining in the first half, and the Eskimos lead by 11.
Edmonton's other pro sports team won it all last May, the Stanley Cup, in part because of Bill Ranford's performance in goal for the Oilers. And Bill, the offseason must have felt like a dream.
Oh, it was great. You know, it makes it nice when you do win, and it's been, I think, a real fun summer for myself and the rest of the players on the Hot Club.
Now you're leaving on Saturday on a 2-week training camp tour of Germany and Austria. Will that make training camp any easier to accept?
Well, it's going to be a little tough because, you know, we're doing a lot of traveling, but I think it's a real experience for all the guys to go out there and have some fun in a different country.
Now you can tell your father you know Ron Lancaster.
That's right.
Because your father looks up to Ron as his idol, right?
Well, my dad's a diehard Rider fan, so he really watched Ronnie Lancaster for a lot of years.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Don?
John Field on the return to the 51-yard line. Bill Ranford, of course, last year, the Conn Smythe Trophy winner as the Stanley Cup playoff MVP in helping the Oilers march to the Stanley Cup. A 28-yard run back, a 53-yard kickoff. Good field position for Tom Forrest, just across the 50-yard line.
Much better position because Field just caught the ball, went straight ahead with it. He didn't wait on anything, and he got every yard he could get, and he got it to the 50-yard line, and quarterback can't ask for anything better.
Masadi comes wide to the right. 3 receivers move to the left. Hand off to Clemens. Clemens bounces off a couple of tackles. One of the reasons he has gained the nickname Pinball, he bounces off would-be tacklers and converts what looked like it might initially be a loss into a gain of 7.
Same play the Eskimos run, only they pull the guard and tackle. They pull Skemp and Kelvin Prooster, and they get Clemens in behind him. As you say, he did bounce off a few people that time to pick up those 6 yards. They were hard-earned.
A year ago, he wasn't thinking of football at all. This one is intercepted by Keith Gooch. And Tom Porras is forced to make the tackle. Kevin Clark, pardon me, the man who intercepted that pass.
That's just what we were talking about before. You get good field position, you have to take advantage of it. And when they came into the game with 40 turnovers, that's their 3rd one this evening. Watch, it's just a little bit high. Should have caught the football, though. I think you got to make that catch. But when you tip it up in the secondary, the defense usually gets it. Pretty good stiff arm, wasn't it?
5:56 remaining in the half. The turnover, the interception by Clark gives Edmonton a 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. That one was very close to being intercepted by Don Wilson. He read that play perfectly, that hitch screen attempt to Henry Williams, and he was there at the same instant that football arrived.
I think Williams will go back and tell him now, don't throw it again. I mean, Wilson hit him just as that ball arrived. That's good defense by Don Wilson.
Whistle on the play. Is this too long in putting the ball in play? A time count violation against the Eskimos?
Oh, no, they were in a hurry-up offense. I don't think they ever even started the 20-second clock.
Maybe that was the problem. They just hadn't started the clock.
That's it. The referee still has his hand up. You can't call signals till he blows time in.
Harding was pressuring, but Ham gets the pass away to Craig Ellis inside the 30-yard line. And there's a penalty flag on the play as well. This could be a roughing call against the Argos.
They did the job. I was watching the Argonaut defense. They did a great job on Craig Ellis on the snap. They really knocked him around. But when Tracy Ham scrambled outside, they decided to chase Ham, and then it just allowed Ellis to be wide open in the middle.
Well, Don Matthews has to be concerned right now. His team trails by 11, and with 5:29 remaining in the half, the Eskimos are in danger of putting this one beyond reach.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, number 22, Edmonton. 1st down.
Well, we're going to get a good look at this because he's the guy we're looking at. Like, look how open Ellis is. There's Wilson Ebb. They make the tackle. All right, let's find him. Comes in and hits from behind, and the referee's going to call that on you. So that costs him.
So that takes the ball back to the 45-yard line. Keith Wright into the end zone for the touchdown.
He caught 2 of them against the Argonauts in Toronto. He now has 8 on the season. He just got inside of Reggie Pleasant, and Ham led him beautifully. Caught it in stride.
Perfect throw from Tracy Ham to Keith Wright. He has really come into his own this year as a receiver. He has the speed, but he wasn't totally familiar with the Eskimo system last year. McAreedy with the point after.
Little sprint, just out behind the tackle. But watch how you can't throw it any better. All you have to do as a receiver, put your hands up. There it is. You run, I'll throw it. You put up your hands, and you'll catch it. And he threw it right on the button. Tracy said nothing to it.
Cal State product Keith Wright scoring the touchdown that has put him in the lead for receiving touchdowns this year. John Field on the kickoff return. And John Field is tackled by Michael Souls with 5:16 remaining in the half. That was a 15-yard return.
Michael Souls gets down the field, doesn't he? That's twice today. He's been the first man down and makes the tackle. He doesn't go for any fakes or anything, puts him on the ground.
Interesting situation. The Eskimos use all their running backs, particularly the backups, on their special teams. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers use all their linebackers in that role.
I guess you use the people that have the speed and are good hitters. You don't care what they play as long as they get out there and tackle somebody.
Tom Porras throwing deep over the head of Marriott.
When Tom Porras let the ball go, he assumed that Marriott was going to stay to the outside of Keith Gooch. He came inside. That causes the ball to be overthrown.
That's the first time they've attempted to go to Marriott. He's in the ball game in place of Jeff Boyd. Boyd started the ball game at the wide receiver position.
Yeah, he's a rookie too, out of North Carolina. Started out well. I think he had an injury and he sat out most of the season. Got hurt in the first game.
Fake inside. Porras looking to throw upfield, completes the pass, but they won't get the first down. Larry Ruck stops Ryan Hansen at the 42-43 yard line.
Tom Porras did a good job just getting away and getting the ball off. He got some pressure and had to run outside of it. See Larry Ruck drop back, play your area, ball's thrown, it's caught, now come up and make the hit. Don't have to hit him hard, just hit him with the shoulder pads, wrap the arms, take him out of bounds.
In this ball game, two of the very fine Canadian linebackers in the CFL. Ruck for Edmonton, Don Moen for the Toronto Argonauts.
I'll tell you what, any coach would be happy with those two. They've had tremendous careers.
Under pressure from Souls. Harper hit that one off the side of his foot. And where are they going to spot it? At about the 54-yard line. Just a 12-yard kick.
You know what? I think it's a good thing it went off the side of Harper's foot, because I don't think Michael Souls could have missed that one. I don't know how he got in there so clean. He came from the outside. Nobody touched him.
This is what the Eskimos have done on their last 5 possessions. 2 touchdowns and a field goal isn't a bad average.
No, you'll take that most times. 2 touchdowns and field goal. 17 points out every 5 possessions. That's excellent.
Ham fakes inside. Flips it out to Craig Ellis, and Ellis has a first down to the 38 with 3:59 left in the half.
Now you wonder, now he's a slot back. Why isn't he downfield? Well, we'll take a look, see why. He's on this side of the field. All he does is cross right behind the line of scrimmage. That gives Tracy Ham time to get all the way out there. Just dump it to him underneath, and I'll get you a first down.
Almost comes sneaking out of there, doesn't he?
That's what he does. He really does. You know what he's looking for, so he doesn't get clothesline coming across the middle. And he didn't, so he makes the catch.
3 receivers to the left. The pitch goes to the lone back, Taylor. And Taylor won't get beyond the line of scrimmage as Chris Gaines, the middle linebacker, came over to make the stop.
Well, you have to like the way Chris Gaines has played. The first game of the season, I guess he made some mistakes. You know, we weren't there to see it. And they sat him out for a while, but as he come back, watch the tackle that he makes. From the middle linebacker position, he just keeps roaming along until he finds an opening, and then bang, go to the ball carrier.
Craig Ellis was the intended receiver. He was being covered by Carl Braisley. It will be 3rd and 10. And this will be another field goal attempt by Ray McAreedy. And that 3-point try will be upcoming when we return.
Bill Radford, the Stanley Cup champion, Oilers, also the contestant statistics. And there will be time for
McAreedy split the uprights from 47 yards out on his last attempt. This will be a 44-yard kick for Ray McAreedy.
Bungee jumping demonstration from that frame.
2:55 is the time remaining in the half. The newest acquisition by the Argos, Ricky Foggy from the BC Lions, taken off their practice roster. And that greatly upset BC General Manager Joe Cap. Foggy happy to get the opportunity to be activated, and he might even get a chance to play before this ball game is over.
Well, I think Tom Porras will finish his half, but I think he's going to have to show that he can move that football. If he doesn't, we're going to see Foggy in the 3rd quarter.
This one just made it. Carl Braisley started to protest that it didn't get across the bar, but it did.
McAreedy, as he's kicking the ball, I'm surprised he got it that far. He slipped just as he planted that left foot. Watch, the ball is down. Watch him. There he goes. And he still had enough power to just drop it across.
Yes, with a 28-7 deficit facing the Argos. They definitely have to try and regroup for the second half. A penalty flag on the play. It appeared as though Kardash may be guilty of the violation. A 17-yard run back after a 55-yard kickoff.
Well, Kardash was the one that's trying to make the block to get the ball carrier outside, and it's an illegal block. There's no doubt about it.
Holding. Number 63, Toronto. First down.
Now, Scott mentioned Don Matthews and how he is the optimist. When the team went into training camp, he said our Argos this year will have an offense that will be truly unique. Create a great deal of confusion for the opposition. So far, not too many teams have had difficulty in defending against the no-huddle offense. Darrell Smith makes the catch, and he could go all the way. He's got the speed. Andre Francis is after him. And Smith is hauled down at the 2-yard line.
You know, we talk about Darrell Smith as one of the keys of the Argos. They know they have to slow Smith down, you know, to take him away from the Argonaut offense. But watch the catch that he makes. He's got excellent coverage on him. He's got a linebacker right in front of him. Braswell's right there with him. He goes up and pulls it down. Now he shows you that he's got good speed because he's got Francis and Gooch after him. That is a heck of an offensive play, and they had great coverage on him. That's just a good individual effort.
They spot the ball at the 3, an 88-yard reception for the leading receiver on the Toronto Argonaut roster, Darrell Smith. First and goal from the 3. Tom Porras keeps. May have gotten to the 1.
This kind of play right here, if you notice the offensive line standing up, the receivers kind of milling around doing nothing. As soon as he puts his hands under the center, he's going to get the ball, and he's going to try to beat him before the Eskimo defense is set. But he tripped over somebody, and he came up a yard short. Watch, this time they'll get down. Let's see.
Ryan Hansen in there in place of Kevin Smelly, who was injured earlier in this quarter.
See, they're going to be down this time.
He was looking for Clemens. Stuart Hill was pressuring him.
Well, I didn't like that call. He got it down to the 1-yard line with 2 shots at it. If you're a good football team, your offensive line will get you that yard. Should have run that quarterback sneak again. Now he's got a little different problem. See where it is. It looks like it's where? Just inside the 1, about 1.5. This is a big play right here.
About 1.5. 3rd and goal for the Argos. Porras is going to roll out. Now he'll throw, and Darrell Smith makes the catch for the touchdown.
He came out of there looking to run, and when Ruck stepped across the line of scrimmage, he just pulled up and dropped it to Darrell Smith out in the flat. That's a good play. They needed to get that in the end zone. Watch him. He comes out of here on a quick sprint. Now, he's going to run right now, but he can't because you're going to see number 47. So he just drops it off out in the flat. Kevin Clark has no chance to stop that one.
I suppose it's appropriate that Darrell Smith should score the touchdown because it was his 88-yard reception that set it up.
Oh, I think it was nice of Porras to wait a couple plays so he could catch his breath and then throw it to him.
And that's a big touchdown for the Argonauts with only 1:52 remaining in the half.
Well, you know, you always want to score points right near the end of the half, kind of give you something to build on in the 3rd quarter.
Penalty flag on the point after by Lance Chomick. Illegal substitution against Toronto.
Too many men. Toronto, the point is good. We'll apply it on the kickoff.
I saw the guy run off the field over there, you know, and the flag down on the play, you know, he would at least wait around, so he shouldn't have been out there to start with. Pretty good look at it here. Watch Tom Forrest roll to his right. Now he wanted to run. You saw Larry Ruck standing on Darrell Smith, but when he come up to force Forrest, then there was nobody to pick up Darrell Smith. Got to be happy with that, Tom. That may get you a chance to play the third quarter because he got him going at the right time. You know, quarterbacks got to get some points on the board when you're playing against Edmonton, and now they'll come out in the third quarter ready to go.
Well, it looked as though the Argos may have picked it all up in one play, but the 88-yard pass from Forrest to Darrell Smith was stopped down at the 3-yard line. Don Matthews asking for an explanation of how the penalty worked. The Eskimos allowed the point to stand, and they have the penalty added to the kickoff.
And a 10-yard penalty at that. And so they're kicking off from the 25.
Ball squibbed along the ground. Chris Johnston brought it back to the Toronto 51 with 1:48 remaining in this first half. Not a bad decision by Joe Farragelli, because at point after, even from 10 yards further back, is practically automatic. As it was, Farragelli, as he explained to a member of his team, was able to tack the yardage onto the ensuing kickoff, and now the Eskimos are in position to add to their lead.
They're already inside Toronto territory with a chance to get a field goal or a touchdown with a lot of time on the clock with 1:48.
Ham's going to run this one and get a first down.
Well, we talk about the running ability of Tracy Ham. Tracy Ham likes to go into the pocket and then looks for it to open inside. He runs upfield. Chris Gaines, the middle linebacker, takes a pretty good stiff arm from Ham, but hangs on and pulls him down. But that's where Tracy Ham is dangerous, when he runs up the middle.
1st and 10, Edmonton from the 40 of the Argos. Ham was anticipating that pressure. He tried to dump it off quickly to Craig Ellis. It will be 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10, Eskimos on the Argonaut 40-yard line.
You had a nice visit this morning with a former teammate, the Eskimos general manager, Hugh Campbell.
Yeah, we got together for breakfast, talked a little bit about what's going on with the families, and then tonight I meet his oldest daughter, Robin, who's married now and lives here, so we had a nice talk.
Penalty flag as Ham runs the football and is stopped at the 33-yard line. .130 is the time remaining. A procedure call against the Eskimos. You know, we talk about Ham and his running ability. Joe Farragelli indicated early in the year that he expected Ham to throw more touchdown passes this year. He said, but I want Tracy Ham to do what he does
Illegal
best.
procedure, Edmonton, no end. 2nd down.
And that's run the football when he gets the opportunity. He said, however, I did tell him that what does upset me is when you run the ball on the last play of the half when it isn't going to affect the outcome of the ball game.
Yeah, and we've seen him do that. Run on that last play of the half where he has no chance to gain a touchdown, and then he took some hits, and it slowed him down for the next game.
He's going to run it here, being pursued by Harding. He's forced out by Don Wilson, but should have another Edmonton first down with still 1:20 remaining.
And that's another thing Tracy Ham does so well. If it's 2nd down and 7, he gets 7. If it's 2nd and 18, he gets 18. He makes that first down, but watch him escape again up the field. Taylor's going to help him out here, gets a block from Sincar. Don Wilson makes a heck of a play to make the tackle, but again, he got just far enough to make the first down.
Ham has the freedom when he sees it to take it. He sees in the end zone a possible touchdown, but Henry Williams can't grab it.
Excellent coverage by Barry. When you throw that post pattern as that one was thrown, Barry being right behind the receiver, if the ball goes high up in the air, he's going to get a hand on it. That's a long way to throw it, but the type of throw you want here is down low where the defender can't get his hands on it. But watch it. Watch Reg Barry. Just go up, take that big hand, knock it away. Excellent defense.
2nd and 10 from the 28. 1:09, the time remaining. The clock will not start until the ball is snapped. 28-14, the score in the first half. Penalty flags. This could be a free one. intended for Ellis. It was knocked down by Wilson. But it looked as though several Argos moved prior to the ball being snapped.
Well, the flags were thrown quickly. While we have just a second, I better correct that and say that's Edbury. The last year they had 2 of them, and I get them all. I was confused last year. There's no reason for me not to be confused this year.
An offside call makes it 2nd and 5 for the Eskimos.
Side, Toronto number 70, 2nd down.
Harold Hallman, the player who jumped prior to that ball being snapped.
5 Eskimos with the Argonauts 23-yard line.
Hallman, 2 games back, being moved into that nose guard position. Williams in the end zone. It's knocked away by Reggie Pleasant. Number 2, the defensive back, working against number 2, the receiver.
Reggie Pleasant's an outstanding corner. You get out there in that corner, it's one-on-one, you and the receiver, but look how he looks back for the football, cuts in front of the receiver. He's the one, and as you see, Henry Williams has to pull his arms down on the touch so he doesn't intercept it. Go to the football in the air, and Pleasant's done it enough this year to have 7 interceptions.
And he has moved past Dick Thornton as the Argo team leader in interception yardage return.
Thornton was a pretty good football player.
Field goal try from the 30-yard line, and this one is wide. Carl Graisley decides to run it out of the end zone, and he catches the Eskimos being rather relaxed and almost went the distance.
You hit it right on the head. They were just, you catch the ball, 19 yards deep. You normally think he's going to give you a point and forget it. He took off up there, and all those green jerseys standing around, he almost broke it. Watch him. Take a step or so now. Watch him. They're just standing there. Standing around. They can't believe it. He's passed up a lot of them. An excellent tackle coming by Michael Souls again. It's a good thing he's on those special teams tonight.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. 45 seconds remaining in the half. Forrest fakes. He's going to run the football. He loses it. Fortunately, one of his teammates, one of the offensive linemen, is able to grab it. I think it may have been Chris Schultz.
He thought they Forrest took a heck of a hit. That ball popped up out of there. It might have been John Coughlin.
No, it was John Coughlin.
Coughlin, he was the center when Beckstead was out. Now he's backing up. But what's the hit? Right there, a little bit of a sandwich shot, and the ball's there, and John Coughlin pulls it down, saves that turnover, and they won't turn it over this late in the half.
John Coughlin certainly didn't expect to be handling the ball with only 35 seconds remaining in the half. It's fortunate for the Argos that he was.
I don't think John Coughlin would expect to handle the ball if there were 60 minutes left in the game. The centers only get to snap it between their legs. That's it for them.
Well, turnovers, as we mentioned earlier, have certainly hurt the Argos during the course of the season, and they have hurt the Argos in tonight's ball game. 3 interceptions being thrown by Tom Porrish.
Oh, they really kill you. Especially when you play against a team like the Eskimos. They're undefeated in this place anyway. You don't like to come in here as it is. Don't help them. That's all we said in the opening. Tom has to be patient and don't force the ball.
That regular season undefeated streak of 13 started here at Commonwealth Stadium on November 6, 1988. Clemens loses yardage, and with 30 seconds left, the Argos will be forced to send out the punting unit.
That's the way you play a toss. When that quarterback tosses it back to the running back and he wants to turn the corner, every time he took a step inside, there was another green jersey waiting on him. They just kept him running to the sideline so somebody could hit him, and he lost 5 yards.
The Argos will try and use up almost all of that 20-second clock before Glenn Harper puts his foot to this ball, with Henry Williams back at the 45-yard line. They take it right down to 1 second remaining. Williams is being chased back, and then a big hit on Kardash as he was decked. And Williams on the return goes out of bounds, but time has run out.
think that hit was made by Jim Yock, number 9. That was a heck of a block that sprung him.
So the effort by Williams goes for naught. The half ends with the Eskimos leading by 14.
Wet Beers, all about. By Priority Courier, the official courier of the CFL. And by Diet 7-Up. Challenge your taste.
The second half just underway. And Andrew Murray takes the ball out of bounds directly in front of the Toronto Argonaut bench, an 11-yard return. And Tom Porras starts the second half at quarterback.
Well, he needs to be a little bit consistent right now. He needs to put some first downs together, come away with some points to keep that momentum on his side.
The Eskimos with the edge, 242 yards in total offense, but 105 rushing yards to just 9 for the Argos. As a result, I think we'll see Porras throwing the football even more in the second half, and wouldn't you know it, on the first play, he hands off to Mike Clemens, who was upset by Jeff Braswell. A gain of about 4 yards. That started from the 46. Well, they're going to spot the ball at the 49, so make it 2nd and 7 upcoming for Toronto.
Make that a gain of 3.
And they go to the no huddle right now. They caught the Eskimos in a blitz and almost sprung Clemens out of there, but when he was forced to cut back, he got tripped up.
2nd and 7. Pass complete to Clemens. He'll be very close to a first down. He had his eye on that forward marker. That's about where he was forced out. It is a Toronto first down.
Obviously, Stu Hill trying to rush the passer, but that's an excellent block by Ryan Hansen. Just gets that head in there, and Hill tries to hurdle him. He has no chance. That's good pass blocking.
Ryan Hansen was listed as the backup coming into this ball game, but he has replaced Kevin Smelly, who was injured. Stu Hill brings down Tom Porras. He got back to the line of scrimmage. Brett Williams was also in pursuit of the Toronto quarterback.
Good coverage downfield. When Porras scrambles up the middle, the first person you should run into would be the tackle, Brett Williams, and then Stuart Hill coming from behind was there to make the hit. So they had him pretty well covered. He had nowhere to run.
Jeff Boyd in that second quarter was replaced by Marriott as a wide receiver. Boyd is back out there. The ball is fumbled, and the Toronto Argonauts are fortunate that they were able to get it back. You know, we mentioned the fact that Porras threw 3 interceptions, but there have been fumbled balls that the Argos have recovered. And here's that exchange from center. In the last game, it was Ian Beckstead and Porras who had their problems. Coughlin is in there now in place of Beckstead, who was shaken up in the first half.
And when that ball comes up from the center, the quarterback's right hand, that ball should smack against his right hand, and then his left hand should close over. That ball did not go up, it came back. Therefore, it split the hands.
Harper looking for the far side, and Henry Williams is there, and Chris Gaines is there on behalf of the Argos, preventing any run back at all by Henry Williams after a 37-yard kick.
That's about the first time he hasn't had any type of return. I know before the game I heard Coach Matthews talking with him down there. They wanted to kick the ball to the sidelines and pin the gizmo up and not let him out. They didn't do it very well in the first half. He kept finding a way to get to that wide side of the field, but that is excellent coverage. When the ball is caught, he is tackled. You take it. Whatever it's 40 yards, 30 yards, you don't care. There's no return.
Colbert wide to the left. 1st and 10 Edmonton. Hand off to Marshall. A gain of 4 yards. 12:37 remaining in the third quarter. 28-14 is the score. When they met in the opening game of the season, it was 40-34 for the Eskimos. And that, by the way, was the highest scoring game these two teams have ever been involved in.
They normally, their defenses played great football against one another for some reason.
The intended receiver, Keith Wright, was overthrown. The ball was deflected by Barry. And there are two injured Argos back at the line of scrimmage. Rodney Harding is down. And I believe Argos, because he has played every down position along that defensive line this year and now is working out of that nose guard spot. We'll take a breather with 12:13 remaining in the third quarter. Well, Harding appears to be okay as he is walking back and forth at the bench, and this is a good sign for Harold Hallman in that he is up and able to make his way off to the sidelines.
Yeah, under his own power, not needing any help. The way they were blocked that time, he just collided, and you know, maybe it'll go away and he'll be back in the ball game. At least you hope so.
So on third down, the Eskimos send out Ray McAreedy to kick. He'll stand inside his own 10-yard line. Mike Clemens, the lone man back, waiting for the kick at his 45. 12:09 is the time remaining in the third quarter. 28-14, Edmonton leads Toronto. Good kick by McAreedy. Clemens has to go all the way back to his 35. He dives forward to the 43, and Michael Souls, who has done a fine job on special teams, is there to make the tackle after a 10-yard return.
Returning the punt.
Well, the big thing is he caught it in the air. He didn't lose any more yardage. He cut back inside and was tripped up, and as you say, Souls was there to finish the job, and he's made just about every tackle on special teams tonight.
First and 10, Argonauts on their own 42-yard line.
First and 10, the ball is at the 42-yard line. The Argos are not having any success at all in running that football.
They're trying to run that counter back to the short side of the field, but the big thing is they're putting all four of the three receivers plus Hansen to one side of the field. So when they do that, that man, Larry Rock, will be up on the line of scrimmage, and there is nobody to block him. The only guy can get him is the pulling lineman, and he's beating him into the backfield and not giving the Toronto running back anywhere to go.
Second and 12. Horace was looking for Masati. Again, he was throwing into double coverage.
He's got to be careful. If you're going to throw that slant or quick post pattern to that wide receiver, you should catch that ball just as you cross the numbers coming to the inside of the field. You get any closer to the hash mark, you're going to run into another defensive back.
Well, Tom Porras has a reputation for being an Elvis Presley impersonator. Right now, I think Don Matthews would sooner see him more closely resemble Matt Dunnigan. Again, Glenn Harper kicking this one towards the sidelines. It's a beauty. Williams takes it at the 18-yard line. He doesn't need much room. He has that great acceleration. And even though it appears as though he may be pinned against the sidelines, he returns it 19 yards.
Well, they did exactly what the coach wants. Kick the ball to the sidelines and then pin him in. They didn't do it. He found a crease. I thought he was going to break it. You know, you got to get him covered because he has so much confidence in his ability. It's fun to watch him, I guess, if you don't have to play against him.
Those aren't great statistics for Tracy Ham. Only 8 completions tonight in 23 attempts. This is number 9 to Keith Wright.
Tracy Ham with the pass to Keith Wright.
He looked inside real fast for Craig Ellis, but you'll see Craig Ellis limping off the field. As he turned to the inside, he tripped. He hurt his ankle a little bit, and then Ham pulled it down and went back and found Wright in the open area, but he slipped coming inside. It looks like he sprained his ankle.
Craig Ellis, the leading receiver for the Eskimos, and Jordan Gartner will come into the ball game. Gartner was impressive in the preseason for the Eskimos. He has yet to catch a regular season pass, but he will now move into the slot back position, replacing Craig Ellis. He's a product of the University of Saskatchewan Huskies, nicknamed RoboCop by his teammates.
In cooperation with the Eskimo Football Club. That's the 1990 Miss Eskimo contest. This year's winner will travel to Vancouver for the Miss Grey Cup contest. So enter now applications from the Eskimo Club office, the Edmonton Journal downtown, Eastgate, or West Edmonton Mall, or at 6:30 shed.
Tom Porras has passed for more yards, but Tracy Ham has the Eskimos leading 28-14.
Well, he's had to throw for more yards because they haven't run the ball at all. I think the last statistic we saw there about 9 yards rushing. Eskimos can do both, and when you can do both, you're a better football team.
Hand off to Taylor. That's a gain of 6 yards, maybe even 7. Rodney Harding made the tackle.
A gain of 6 yards on the play for the Eskimos. He was brought down by Rodney Harding of the Argos.
Craig Ellis was able to get up and walk off to the sidelines.
2nd and 4 on the Argonaut 51.
They're looking at it as Ham looked downfield for Colbert. He couldn't hang on. That is one he should have caught.
He turned his head. He took his eye off the football. Receiver, once he makes that break, got to come back, clutch the ball into his hands, and you saw Colbert's head already turning to look downfield before he had the football, and it bounced right out of his hands.
For the Eskimos on the Argonaut 50.
McAreedy stands at the 45-yard line. He has kicked well tonight for the Eskimos. Clemens moves up in that at the 12-yard line. He gets a block. And then as he tries to cut back in front of Jim Yock at the 45-yard line, he slips and goes down. 8:49 is the time remaining. A 33-yard third-quarter return by Clemens.
You may recall from the Commonwealth Games in Auckland, New Zealand earlier this year, bungee jumping was all the rage, and now it's come to Canada in a very big way. Jillian McDonald was one of 3 people to make the bungee jump from a 110-foot tower at Commonwealth Stadium here at halftime, and we had the luxury of a replay here to watch your jump, Jillian. Spectacular. You were, as they say, at the end of your rope, no pun intended. Now, you're actually part of a company trying to bring bungee jumping to Canada. You believe you can sell this to Canadians?
Absolutely. I guarantee that everyone in this stadium right now is thinking about doing it.
You know, if I wasn't busy with Live at the Half, bungee jumping's a favorite sport of mine. I would have gone up there and done that. You know that?
Yeah, I think you're the right kind of person to do that.
Actually, to be honest with you, Don and Ron want to do it. They'd like to go doubles. Can you arrange that?
You bet I can.
Okay.
Just give me a call.
At the end of the game, they'll be down. They want to try it. Thank you, Jillian.
Thank you very much.
Don?
Ron and I are going to do it as soon as we get back from Detroit.
That's right. And when are we going? We're not.
Jeff Boyd makes the catch for a big first down at the 33-yard line.
Well-thrown football. They've been trying to throw the ball to the inside. This time, Jeff Boyd goes outside, and he's in the position to catch it. Good blocking that time. You see the pump fake. Now let it go and let Boyd run to it. Excellent throw. Right over the shoulder. Catches it outside, picks up the first down. She said everybody in the stadium, I know one person that no way wants to do that.
I can guarantee you there are 2. Many of our CBC crew attempted to talk me into it when we were in New Zealand. No way. Tom Porras goes out of bounds. I'll tell you one person who did jump, though, was our producer, Joel Darling.
You know, we've been wondering about him.
A gain of 5. It will be 2nd and 5 for the Argos. 8:10 remaining in the third quarter. This could be a very important series of plays for the Argos.
They got to get some points, get something going.
Forrest did a good job getting away from the initial pressure, but he can't escape Stu Hill. So they'll be forced to send out the field goal unit with 7:52 left in the third quarter, trailing by 14 points. Lance Chomik will try and reduce the Edmonton lead to 11. This should be well within his range. He has hit a field goal this year from 52 yards away. This will be a 39-yard effort. No, not a good kick. Ball seemed to come off the foot rather strangely. It went wide of the uprights. It goes, however, for a single point. 7:33 is the time remaining in the third quarter. Mike McCarthy, the rookie general manager of the Toronto Argonauts, did not endear himself to one of his lodge brothers, Joe Kapp, when he picked up the phone and contacted Ricky Foggy to see if he was interested in leaving the practice roster of the BC Lions and joining the game roster of the Toronto Argonauts.
Well, I guess there's two schools of thought on it. If you are on the practice roster, you are not under a contract. You're under a practice roster agreement, I guess, and you don't have to phone him. And McCarthy said to heck with it, he phoned Foggy and got him. But
his reaction was, if I would have phoned Kapp and asked for permission,
he'd have said no. That's right.
He'd have moved him to the roster.
And he'd have hit him so you couldn't find him.
First and 10 from the 35-yard line. Reggie Taylor is brought down after a gain of about 1.5 yards. Darryl Ford came up to make the tackle. Well, when the Eskimos have been ahead at halftime, they have not lost this season. And as we mentioned earlier, they have not lost a regular season game at Commonwealth Stadium for a season and a half.
There's another statistic that's even better than that. If you're leading at the end of the game, you'll never lose. You know that? Watch Tracy Ham, shows running ability. He's outside, just kind of slipped away from Hallman, makes a couple quick moves right here, and it goes ahead. Again, looking for that first down. Seems like he gets close to it. This time he's a couple yards short, and they're going to have to punt it, but 5 rushes, 43 yards, right with his average. He averaged at 8.5 coming in. 8.6 right there.
Last year he set a league record for quarterbacks, 1,005 yards.
It's more than I had my whole career.
Yeah, but you had the luxury of always letting George do it.
That's what they paid him for. I don't have to do that stuff.
No yards call against the Eskimos. Good hit by Michael Souls on Mike Clemens. We have talked about how well Souls has performed on special teams tonight. It seems he has been in on almost every tackle.
It's unbelievable how, and that was an excellent hit. Open field.
No yards. 32 Edmonton. First down.
Now we see why. He got in there early. I don't think it was him. I really don't. It was somebody else because he was coming from the backside and running hard when he put the hit on him. That was an excellent tackle by Michael Souls.
He was Quebec Athlete of the Year in 1988. McGill's all-time rushing leader, mainly in a backup capacity for the Eskimos, but really excelling on special teams tonight. Horace finds Smith for a first down, or very close to it. He was taken out of bounds at the 54 by Clark.
Wide receiver goes down. In that case, Jeff Boyd goes down, out and takes off deep. And Darryl Smith just goes down, drives Kevin Clark, breaks to the sideline. Forrest rolls out and hits him. One-on-one coverage. Go to your best receivers. You know, that's what they're going to. They're going to get open when it's one-on-one.
And it is a Toronto first down with 5:58 remaining in the third quarter. 28-15, the Eskimos lead. Porras is forced to step up. He'll run the ball, and he goes down just shy of a first down.
Tom Porras running the ball for about 9 yards.
You saw those Eskimos all drop out of there. They had a 2-deep zone, 6 and 2 deep, 5 short, and all Porras does is step inside it and run for the first down.
In your discussion this morning with General Manager Hugh Campbell, did he reveal whether or not he's any closer to settling a contract with Stuart Hill?
Well, you know, Hugh says, I'll get around to it. He's not in any hurry. No, you know, he just said, we'll get together. He says, well, Stuart Hill's not going anywhere. He says, players sometimes like to talk a little bit, and they want it done in a hurry. He said, but when his agent gets back, we'll talk on the phone, and it will all be settled.
Handoff was a little sloppy, but Ryan Hansen still managed to get the first down. It is 1st and 10 for the Argos. They are at the Eskimo 45-yard line. 4:40 is the time remaining in the third quarter. Incomplete. Good job over there by Keith Gooch defending on Paul Massotti.
If you remember, we talked about Massotti coming down the field and slanting to the inside on a post. This half, they're bringing him down, slanting him in, and breaking back out to the corner, trying to throw it over their head. Well, that's the kind that hurt. When you throw the football, you're open, the rib area is open, and a guy like Brett Williams hits you, those hurt a little bit.
Darrell Smith tried to come back to the football. He slipped. Andre Francis also tried to come back to the football, and he got a hand on it but couldn't make the interception.
Been a lot of slipping on tonight on pass receptions. You know, even in the first quarter, like I can see now, they've had some rain and it's getting a little cool, so there's going to be a little moisture on the field. But watch him. He comes up now. He's going to try to just stop and come back. And you see he just slid completely out of there. We saw Colbert slip and fall. We've seen Ed Berry slip and fall. There have been quite a few of them tonight.
Darrell Smith is down. He is the injured Toronto Argonaut. Kind of an interesting situation with Smith last year. The team's leading receiver each of the last 3 seasons. He was benched in favor of Emmanuel Tolbert and Brian Bedford for the Eastern Division semifinal against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The situation was rather cloudy at the time, but Don Matthews has faith in him, and he is again the Argos' #1 receiver. Scott?
Don, looked for a while this evening as though the Argos would have to get a clinic going here at the bench, but there's good news. Most of the players who were injured this evening are at least shaken up. They're all back in, save for Kevin Smelly, the Canadian running back who left this game in the first half, is now in street clothes on the sidelines, and there goes your only chance of the year to play on natural grass.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, it was an injury I sustained last game against Winnipeg, and actually just an old college injury flaring up again. You know, some strained ligaments around my AC joint, and you know, it's just a shame that I can't be out there, you know, to help the team out.
So you don't believe it's all that serious enough to keep you out past this game?
No, I think I should be all right for next game.
All right, get well soon, and those injuries are the nature of the game, although that's not much consolation to you.
No, but thanks a lot.
Okay, Don?
The OAC joint, the acromioclavicular joint. How about that?
How did you know that?
Oh, I know that stuff.
Third down punt.
Yeah, right to the kissy, right?
The ball bounces to Henry Williams, and it draws a flag. No yards against the Toronto Argonauts with 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. A 34-yard kick that time. Let's see who the no yards call was against.
No yards. 17 Toronto. 5-yard penalty. First down.
The penalty against Dave Van Bellingham of the Toronto Argonauts. That will move the ball out to the 16-yard line. 1st and 10, Edmonton. Keith Wright for the first down at the 32-yard line.
A 17-yard gain for the Eskimos. Reggie Pleasant making the tackle for the Argonauts.
The sprint left by Tracy Ham. When Wright plants his foot and comes back, you let it go. Here comes Darryl Ford, leaps over the blocker, gets that forearm into the upper arm of Tracy Ham. That stings a little bit. It's not a good injury, but it just stings for a while.
16 yards the gain. It's 1st and 10. Blake Marshall breaks the initial tackle, and he'll run for 10 more. He did that all on his own.
That was an excellent job by Blake Marshall. He takes the draw from Tracy Ham. Now we see what size and speed can do. He starts up into the line. He's hit by one of the Argonauts, just runs over him, and then it takes 2 or 3 more to bring him down. That's just a good individual effort.
Ham overshoots Keith Wright. It will be 2nd and 10. The Edmonton strategy coming into this ball game was to really mix up their offense, but they thought they could run the ball because they had success in the first game of the season against the Argonauts. Taylor picking up 124 yards himself. The offensive line blocked well in that game. They thought the toss and the counterplay would work again.
I think you have to come in. You know, they had trouble with the Toronto Argonaut defense all the time. Somebody's wide open over there.
And they're not going to catch Reggie Taylor. Well, just when it appeared as though the Toronto Argonauts might be in a position to get right back in the ball game, Ham clicks with Reggie Taylor on a 67-yard pass for a touchdown.
Reggie Taylor went out into the flat. Now when Tracy Ham starts to scramble, he just turns up the sidelines and he gets behind everybody. He's wide open out there. See, Wilson has no chance. 17 Van Bellingham tried to get him, but no chance, and Taylor just jogs in. But it's a good job by Taylor. He's standing out on the sideline. When Ham starts to him, he knows he can see him, so he takes off deep and gets behind him.
Taylor was the key as a runner the first time they met. Tonight, that pass could be a key in the outcome of this ball game.
Yeah, 34-15. It's a big, big touchdown for the Eskimos. All right, now you see him scramble. Now Reggie Taylor standing out here at the bottom on the sideline, and when he sees Tracy coming, he just turns and runs down the sideline, and they don't stay with him. 35-15, now 20 points. You miss a field goal and get 1, they turn around and get a touchdown and get 7. And 2:23 left in the third quarter, and a little bit of you have a problem now.
That's something the Eskimos do so often. They strike quickly. From almost any position on the field, they are capable of scoring.
I think that's a credit to the talent that they have. You know, they've got speed at the receiver. They've got speed at the running. They've got an outstanding athletic quarterback. They can hit you. Even on a punt return, we've seen what Giz can do tonight. And defensively, they can go up there. They are an outstanding football team.
John Field on the return. He doesn't get any further than the 36-yard line. Michael Souls with the initial hit after a 15-yard return. And who else did we expect to make the initial hit?
That's what I was going to say. We don't need to watch him anymore. We know who's going to make the tackle.
Just remember that number. Look for it on the Eskimo punt and kickoff coverage team.
Every tackle tonight. That's a pretty good night's work.
Was looking for Jeff Boyd. I think he may have been bumped trying to get off that line of scrimmage.
Also, when Boyd came down, he started to break like he was going to go deep to try to get Keith Gooch to turn with him. Then he was going to cut underneath him. But Gooch stood his ground, and they did have a collision, and Boyd couldn't get to the football.
2nd and 10 from the 36. 1:53 remaining in the third quarter. Tracy Ham with 10 more passing yards than Tom Porras. And Porras gets 10 back here, although Clemens has to struggle to get up to that forward marker. He appeared to have it at one time, then as he continued to run, he lost about a yard and a half.
You're right, he did have it once, and he started to try to gain more yards and give ground. When he gave ground like that, took a heck of an effort because Clark had hold of him pretty good. He struggled and dove for that final the first down. You see the linebackers dropping out. Danny Bass at the bottom, throw it underneath them. Now you're relying on his running ability to get you the necessary yardage. He had it, he lost it, and then the tackle by Clark, he doesn't go down, and he lunges forward right here, and that gets it close enough for them to give him the first down and get him another shot. Got an injury back there. That's the delay. I can't see who it is.
It appears as though Jeff Boyd is down. And that will bring Paul Marriott into the ball game. On Sports Weekend, our continuing coverage of Grand Prix track and field action from Europe. And we'll have the Denver Indy and qualifying for the Vancouver Indy. And then on Sunday, of course, live coverage of the Molson Indy from Vancouver. It all begins at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, Sunday afternoon. Bobby Unser, along with Brian Williams, will be describing the action from Vancouver.
First and 10, Argonauts. The ball on their own 47-yard line.
Marriott is in, Boyd out at that wide receiver position. Al-Masadi initially had lined up to the left. Now he goes way wide right. The pass complete to Darrell Smith for a first down.
Tom Porras complete to Darrell Smith for the Argonauts.
Getting a lot of that zone defense from the Eskimos. When those backers drop out of there, then the Argonaut receivers find a hole in the zone, and then you throw it right at them.
First and 10, Argonauts. Ball on the Eskimo 51.
38 seconds remaining in this third quarter. 35-15. The Eskimos lead, a 20-point difference. Porras loses the football. The Eskimos have got it. Michel Bourgeau scoops up the loose ball.
He lost the football because of the hit of Stuart Hill coming on that pass rush. When Porras stepped up, Hill came back underneath, and he got that helmet under the ball. Watch, he's going to step up. Here comes Stuart Hill. Watch him. Get that head right there, and he can't get the ball down. It pops loose. Michel Bourgeau, another turnover by the Argonauts. That's a good hit by Stuart Hill. Put that head on the chest and wrap the arms. And Porras has nowhere to put the football.
First and 10, the ball at the 54-yard line. This could be the final play of the third quarter. Reggie Taylor, the ball carrier. He just keeps on squirming for a first down.
Well, you know, we talked about him pulling Trevor Bowles in the first half on those counters. This time he's pulling Blake Dermott coming from the left side. So it doesn't matter which way they want to run. Their linemen can get out there and run with them, and they do a good job once they get rolling.
He came into the game as the leading rusher in the CFL with 503 yards. And he's added 63 more so far tonight. Blake Marshall. He took on Don Moan and just drove him all the way down to the 35-yard line. And that's the end of the third quarter.
It's not just a rivalry.
More like a civil war.
When Calgary comes to town, it's nasty town.
In Alberta, 67% of football fans tested prefer the taste of Diet 7-Up over Diet Coke.
We like the taste of Diet 7-Up.
You got a problem with that? Edmonton, Calgary, nothing in common.
Challenge your taste.
28,151 watching the action tonight at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. And the Eskimos enjoy a 20-point lead with 15 minutes remaining. And they are 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line of the Argos. The fake to Taylor. The pass complete to Souls. A gain of 16 for Souls. The Eskimos 421 yards. Turnovers have really hurt the Argos tonight. However, 4 times they have given the ball away. On 3 other occasions they have fumbled the football but have managed to get it back.
Well, you see 19 yards rushing, 4 turnovers. That'll usually get you in trouble. Makes it a long evening.
1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. And fake the throw. He'll run for the touchdown.
That's a naked bootleg. You nobody out there with him. You see Tracy Ham come back, make the fake, and when he takes off around, 36 Don Moan has no chance. So he's chasing him, and then along came Darrell Ford. Now, it looked like he had the angle on him. Watch it. Here's the fake right here. No blockers outside of Moan. Now, you'll see 21 come into the picture. He hesitates. You think 21 would have him? Not a chance. Turns on the jet shot, runs him right down the sidelines into the end zone. That's what makes him Tracy Ham.
McAreedy with the point after. And Joe Farragelli is probably saying to Tracy, that's what I meant, Tracy, with the instructions I provided. When you see it, take it.
That's all you get out there, watch him. Bang, there's the fake, just outruns Don Moan. 21's going to try to come, hesitate, turns it on, and Ford can do anything about it, but watch him go into the end zone. It's what Joe Farragelli was telling him yesterday. Don't think you're the greatest passer in the world. You are Tracy Ham because of your running ability. You play football the way you know how. That's run first, throw second.
Remember what made Tracy Ham.
Happy retirement. Hey, and that Lisa said, Donna, Willie, who else?
Ricky Foggy warming up for the Argos. We could see a quarterbacking change. John Field on the kickoff return. He gets it back to midfield.
John Field with a 27-yard kickoff return for the Argonauts.
Tough part of that is Michael Souls slipped, was on the ground, and still made the tackle. And here comes Ricky Foggy. He'll come in with the same instructions. I asked Don Matthews also that if Foggy gets in, will he have a limited number of plays? He says, yeah, he'll have a few less than Porras, but he said he'll call his own game.
.44 is the time remaining. 1st and 10 Toronto from midfield. They trail 42-15. Completes the pass to Darrell Smith, but he was out of bounds.
Anytime you roll out to the wide side of the field and there's 2 receivers on that side, you don't have an outlet man. So the man that's the flat man is the quarterback. Stuart Hill does a heck of a job fighting off the blockers, pulls up the quarterback, and then that's a heck of an initiation for Foggy to come in on his first play. He took a couple pretty good hits, but the quarterback couldn't get outside the run, and that was really his only choice on that. He didn't have anybody open.
One of the reasons that Foggy indicated he was happy to leave BC is he said he wanted to play quarterback. He felt the Lions were trying to make him into a slot back.
Well, I would say they were. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt he was going to be a slot back with the BC Lions. And he came out of University of Minnesota as a quarterback, and that's what he wants to be. And there was no doubt that if he had the opportunity to play quarterback, he was going to leave BC.
And what is going to happen in Toronto when Matt Dunnigan and John Kinjemi return to the roster?
I don't know. Who knows? Well, every week Dunnigan's been coming back, but every week Dunnigan isn't back.
So Foggy misses with his first 2 pass attempts in a Toronto uniform, and now Harper prepares to kick from the 40-yard line. Angling it to the sidelines, and this one will go out. No opportunity for a return for Henry Williams. 42-15, the Eskimos lead the Argos with 12:53 remaining here at Commonwealth Stadium.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers and quarterback Tom Burgess have been criticized for a lack of offense. Nonetheless, Mike Riley's team will carry a winning record into a game with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Mike Harrigan leads an injury-riddled Ticat lineup in a game that could have an effect on first in the East. Al Bruno's squad will soon have to make a move on the Bombers. Hamilton at Winnipeg, September 9th on the CFL on CBC.
A year ago, Joe Farragelli was the boss. Don Matthews was one of his assistants. Now Matthews, who previously held a head coaching job with the BC Lions, is the boss of the Toronto Argonauts. He anticipated a much better start for his Argos. He also anticipated having a healthy Matt Dunnigan.
Well, you can never, foresee the injuries, and if Dunnigan was healthy, who knows where they'd be right now.
Fine catch by Craig Ellis for a first down. Kind of thought we might see Warren Jones in the ball game with a 42-15 Edmonton lead, but Tracy Ham is staying in at quarterback.
I would think that this should be his last series with a 27-point lead. You need to get those young guys a playing experience, because you never know when you're going to need them.
Well, the Eskimos tonight have surpassed their season yardage in total offense. Just about on pace for the number of points they score when playing at home. Reggie Taylor stopped at the line of scrimmage. In 3 home games this year, the Eskimos have blown away the opposition. 41-23 over the BC Lions on July 18th, 57-31 over the Saskatchewan Roughriders on August 7th, and 46-20 against the, at the time, undefeated Calgary Stampeders on August the 14th. Taylor tonight has outrushed the Argos. Pass intended for Keith Wright, broken up by Ed Berry.
Excellent coverage by Ed Berry. When Tracy Ham rolls out, that allows Keith Wright to go a little bit deeper before he runs that turn-in pattern. Berry didn't bite on it at all. When the ball was in the air, just batted it to the ground. The Argonauts are not a great rushing team to begin with. They don't rush for even 100 yards a game. I think they average around 94 yards a game. And the Eskimos, though, they like to run the football. If they can get that running game going, they feel they're going to control the game, the line of scrimmage, and they're going to win it.
The Argos have fallen well short of preseason predictions that they would be averaging 40 points a game offensively this season.
Well, I can understand, Coach Matthews, we were talking about that the other day, and he said, his goal was to score 40 points a game. That's what he wanted. He said, I feel better saying 40 than I do 12. If you average 12 points a game, you're going to be 0-8 at this time.
Clemens caught by Mike McLean. Well, there's a change.
Yeah, he's not allowed to do that. He's not allowed to do that. Souls is supposed to make those tackles. There he is.
Souls is right behind him just in case McLean missed.
Oh, they're having a little race down the field now. I tell you, get 2 guys hustling, having races, that's fun.
We've talked about the 13 regular season games in which the Eskimos have been unbeaten here at Commonwealth Stadium. The league record is 20. The Montreal Alouettes established that mark. Hoggy's high pass is hauled in. Darrell Smith is a little slow in getting up, but he's okay.
That's a nice catch by Darrell Smith. See that? Watch that right here. They jam him a little bit. The ball's high. He has to go up and catch it and hang on as he takes a pretty good hit. But when you hit that slot back coming off, he can't get down the field as far. He only picked up 5 yards on that. That's what we talked about earlier. Throw off the timing.
Masadi makes the catch. He has another Toronto first down.
Masadi in the sideline.
I was watching that time. Everybody got off the line clean, but Darrell Smith. They smacked him again coming off. Just down, break to the sideline. The ball's thrown before Masadi ever made his break. Nice soft hands, makes the catch out of bounds. Right now, the Eskimos will let you catch it in front of them if you're going to catch it.
You'll recall our comments earlier that this was what the Eskimos were going to try to do to Daryl Smith, jam him at the line of scrimmage.
You bet. Jam him, know where he is, confusing. Don't allow him to have a free rein.
Penalty flag. This will be offside Toronto. Masadi, I think, broke before the ball was snapped.
Ricky Foggy's pass to Paul Masadi is incomplete.
Well, you can shake your head, but I really believe it would have all gone for naught. Offside Toronto. And I'm quite sure it was Paul Masadi who left prematurely.
Well, I don't know. Just because there was a white jersey running down the field before the ball snapped. That was a pretty good clue, wasn't it?
You've got good eyes, too.
I saw him running. I didn't know it was him.
Offside, Toronto number 88. Decline, second down.
If you're going to be outside, they could at least taken the penalty, you know, because I got down there. Even if I catch it, it doesn't count. I drop it, they decline it.
42-15 with 9:20 remaining. The Eskimos leading the Argos. This time, Masadi makes sure he stays there until the ball is snapped. And Stuart Hill makes sure that Ricky Foggy doesn't go anywhere.
Everybody wanted a sack. They felt he threw the ball away, but not really. Masadi had run a down and out pattern. Boy, Hill gets in there in a hurry. He beats number 34. Right, see, he gets around him. Then the race is on. He just come around there. He had no chance. Ryan Hansen didn't even slow him down. And Stuart Hill's a pretty good rusher at the best of times. And he did get the ball off in the general vicinity of the receiver, so therefore it's not called intentional grounding.
This will be a 52-yard field goal attempt by Lance Choming. That's going to fall short.
Well, watch out here.
For the Gizmo.
When you kick a field goal from the left hash mark and it's short and wide to the wide side of the field, those green jerseys know where the ball is and they start coming around. You cover the ball down the middle. He was already outside the contain when he caught the ball, and those green jerseys did a good job of getting him into the open. And then it was just an easy jog home.
You got it, me! You're the best!
He's an entertainer. McAreedy with the point after. And with 8:33 remaining, it's now 49-15, and we'll be back with the Edmonton kickoff after this. That's the second time that a missed field goal has been returned 108 yards for a touchdown this year. Carl Brazeley of the Argos did it against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on the 20th of July. For Williams, this is the second longest of his career. He had a 111-yard return against Winnipeg in 1987. This one, 108 yards.
No one touched him. I just was watching him run there as you were talking, just seeing if anybody touched him. He got up inside, cut to the outside, got behind that wall, and then he just ran it home. Well, we said he thinks he can run every one of them back. He's come close tonight to doing it.
Mike Clemens was caught by Larry Ruck. He got away from him. It looked as though he was out of bounds, but apparently he wasn't. Ruck may have been, but he wasn't able to drag Clemens with him.
Oh, he's a good kick returner in his own right. It's just that it's not the Argonauts' night for getting things going. He brought it back 22 yards. They got good field position, but at this stage of the game, trailing 49-15, you know, it's all just got to get Ricky Foggy needs some playing time right now. He needs some experience. Go back, throw the football.
Well, without Matt Dunnigan or John Conjemi, we anticipated that this game might be a blowout, and it has been.
That's a little bit scary, you know, when you come in to play the Eskimos in Commonwealth Stadium, that's tough enough. But they, you know, they lost last week. You know, they're looking forward to this game.
This was run all the way, I think, for Ricky Foggy. As soon as he took that snap from center, I think that was his intent, to get around that corner and go.
He got outside clean. You know, you revert back to what you learned when you're in college, and watch him 35 yards. He's outside clean, just pulls it down. Now everybody else is going to help him. Watch all the receivers start blocking for him. There's a lineman in front. Daryl Smith's throwing a block. There's another block by Masadi. Good run by Ricky Foggy, 35 yards downfield.
He had an excellent preseason game against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers where he did exactly the same thing, run the football.
Well, when he came into the league, they said he was a good athlete, and we're seeing a little bit of his athletic ability.
For Andrew Murray, touchdown.
Well, we know one thing, he sees downfield. He's got good downfield vision. He was looking to his left, scrambled to his right, and picked up Murray coming across deep in the end zone and threw him the football for the touchdown.
So Ricky Foggy, with barely 48 hours of practice time with the Toronto Argonauts, throws a touchdown pass to Andrew Murray, his first touchdown of the year, and he's keeping the ball as a souvenir.
Well, you know, one thing, too, Foggy did play for Adam Reeder when he was out in BC, so he does understand the offense a little bit.
The point after by Lance Chomick makes it a 49-22 ball game.
I watch Ricky Foggy now. Start to his left. He's looking left. Doesn't like what he sees. Starts to scramble. Looks downfield again and finds Murray coming from left to right across the field. Lays it out there. Nice touchdown for Andrew Murray.
Pretty good job of blocking by that Toronto offensive line.
That's a good job. You know, you got to stay after him. You never know when that quarterback's going to need you. And as he started to scramble around there, they're there to make the blocks, and he finds them.
I think Andrew Murray, when he made that catch in the end zone, landed on the football.
That's what it looked like. Well, some sore ribs for a few days if he didn't break any, but
7:12 is the time remaining. Williams gets it again, and there's another buzz of anticipation. But this time he simply runs out of room. He's forced out of bounds by Iffel. 9-yard run back after a 57-yard kick.
Pushed out of bounds by Jerry Eichel.
And Warren Jones is going to replace Tracy Ham as the Edmonton quarterback.
6'2", 200-pound quarterback in his second year from Hawaii. Getting the chance to play. It's his turn to be on the roster.
Despite being in the grasp of a defender, Jones is able to throw to Craig Ellis for a first down. We've talked about the running backs substituting each other. The strategy for the Eskimos with their backup quarterback is to give Warren Jones and Steve Taylor 3-game assignments.
What they're trying to do, they put Jones on the roster 3 games, Taylor 3 games. The reason they do it, they both need experience. That's one. 2, they don't know who's the best. They're hoping to get them in the game conditions where they can evaluate them a lot better. I don't think you can evaluate a quarterback in practice. You've got to see how he stands in there when the pressure, when the rush is in his face.
Ryan Walling, the ball carrier this time, as Joe Farragelli is making use of his bench.
An 8-yard gain.
6:09, the time remaining.
Chris Gaines,
a gain of 8 for Brian Walling. And now Farragelli sends in the short yardage team for 2nd and 2.
Wallen's 5'8", 185 pounds. He's a very, very well built in his 4th year out of Acadia. But the interesting thing with him is he was the one that was with Saskatchewan last year. He's back in Edmonton this year.
He's got a Grey Cup ring while his teammates don't, or most of them don't.
Well, at least from last year.
Blake Marshall that time picking up the first down, stopped by Darryl Ford.
Well, we said before, he gets those tough yards. He doesn't get to carry the ball too many times out in open field. We don't see him running the counters and the tosses. We see him running those slashers right inside where the going's tough, and he doesn't let them down very often.
Colbert, wide left.
All that outfield stuff.
Pass intended for Wright, incomplete.
Warren Jones, pass intended to Heaty White.
Braswell on the sidelines tried to catch it after it was deflected by Wright. Joe Farragelli is concerned with, but he's pointing something out to assistant coach Gary Durchik.
That's what I was watching when he was pointing. I was looking out there to see if there was something going on. There was nothing going on.
Jordan Gertner was the intended target. Warren Jones couldn't get the football to him with 4:34 remaining. 49-22 is the score. Edmonton in front. A 108-yard return for the Gizmos.
Get the mellow one out of storage.
It was a little bit off target there because of Chris Gaines.
Well, you may have heard the Gizmo in conversation with Scott Oak.
Good luck, Thomas, huh? Fuck, I can't do it to y'all. Won't y'all do all my games, please? Just show up, okay?
He was asking Scott if he could have his blue jacket because Scott gave him his melon jacket a couple of years ago when he returned a punt for a touchdown.
He's a character. He really is.
Clemens trying to get to the outside. And that time it was Jim Yock who was down there to make the tackle with 4:08 remaining in the game. Our next game on September 9th will feature the two teams that could be vying for the Eastern Division title. The Hamilton Ticats and Winnipeg Blue Bombers at Winnipeg Stadium. The Bombers, of course, atop the Eastern Division following their victory over the Toronto Argonauts. They have a record of 5-2, and they're at home tomorrow night against the Calgary Stampeders, the team that leads the West with a record of 5-1-1. The first meeting of the year between the leaders of their respective divisions. (49-22), the Eskimos leading the Argos. 4 minutes remaining. Ricky Foggy in just 2 plays the last time the Argos had the ball produced a touchdown. Darryl Smith couldn't hang on. Could be that Kevin Clark got a hand on that ball.
That was good coverage by Kevin Clark. Whether he got a hand on the ball or not, he still got his hand in front of Darryl Smith's eyes. There you see Darryl Smith coming. That's what you have to do. Clemens and Ryan Hansen staying after him. They still haven't knocked him off his feet.
The Argos, after tonight's game, return home for a Saturday date against the BC Lions. The Lions play in Ottawa tomorrow. And on Monday, Labor Day Monday, a week tonight, the Eskimos travel to Calgary for their traditional Labor Day game. Andrew Murray gets a first down out to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, we hit those Labor Day games this weekend. Saskatchewan gets the Bombers and Tom Burgess back to Taylor Field. Ottawa's in Hamilton, Edmonton in Calgary.
And where has summer gone?
I hate to see that. I kind of enjoyed summer. I don't know, it seems to go faster every year. I'm going to check the days in the month.
Larry Ruck forces Ricky Foggy out of bounds. Very close to a first down at the 50-yard line.
A very wise decision by Ricky Foggy. As he's coming around that corner, he had Ruck and another green jersey coming. He's going to try to make a fake. He went out of bounds. Very wise.
2:56 is the time remaining here at Commonwealth Stadium, with the Eskimos in front by 27. Well, this is going to be the 14th consecutive home field win for the Edmonton Eskimos. That will be equal to 4th best of all time in the CFL. Hamilton put together a string of 14, October 12th, 1957 to October 3rd, 1959. Winnipeg had a 16-game stretch, 1963 to 65. You'd think that the Edmonton Eskimos during their dynasty would have put together a streak, but they did not. Their 17-game string was 54 to 56. They won Grey Cups in that period as well. And then Montreal has the league record, 20 games unbeaten at home, November 8th, 1953 to November 3rd, 1956. Foggy has Smith wide open. Jim York, who has moved into that safety position, came across to make the tackle.
That was a good job. Marriott went down the field and broke to the inside up the seam. Took Francis and the safety man with him, and then Daryl Smith just turned right out into the open area, and Foggy found him. As we said before, Don, good downfield vision on the run. Throws it well on the run. Pretty good night for Daryl Smith.
The Argos' leading receiver coming into the ball game, and he has improved his position tonight with 7 receptions thus far. Foggy for Smith again. Touchdown.
Threw that under a lot of pressure, too. Got good pressure from the Eskimo pass rush. Started to his left, planted, turned back, and just laid it out there. Took the hit, but he got 6 points out of it. Good job. Watch him, sprints left, plant the foot, turn backside, lays it out, knows he's going to get hit, got hit by 3 green jerseys, but Daryl Smith started to the inside, works back to the corner or a flag, hangs it up, 6 points.
And now the reaction of Argonaut fans will be, why wasn't this change made earlier?
Well, you know, hindsight's always 20/20, you know. You're about that frog if he had wings, don't you?
He would fly.
That's right. He wouldn't bump his rear end, would he?
Daryl Smith with the touchdown reception. 2:10 the time remaining.
Hey, Dad. Stella, you probably sleep by now. No, you sleep.
If they're asleep, there's no point in sending them a message, is there, Daryl?
Not go quick. The game not over till they get you.
That's getting close, Daryl. I already get a good look. He just turns backside. Look at the pressure coming. Just makes that step and lays it up. Allows Daryl Smith to run under it. Touchdown.
49-29.
Oh, that's what you call meeting at the quarterback. All 5 of them arrive at the same time.
Love you guys. Ray Alexander, Daryl, I made it. See y'all next week.
The Argos attempting the short kick, but Danny Bass is there to scoop it up for the Eskimos.
Danny Bass picking up the short kickoff.
The Argos feel in that short kickoff with that unusual alignment of theirs that they should get to the ball because they have everybody going at one spot.
And they're on the run from the time they break the huddle. They come out of there flying. They know where the ball's going, and they're all going in that direction, but didn't fool the Eskimos, though.
The first time they met, that 40-34 Edmonton victory on July 14th at the Skydome was the highest scoring game ever between these two teams. With now 78 points on the board, this one has taken over as the highest scoring game of all time between the Eskimos and the Argos. Keith Wright makes the catch on the sidelines for an Edmonton first down.
Don't lose faith in this
Warren Jones showed good arm strength. He's standing in the middle of the field, standing flat-footed, and threw that ball to the sideline. That's good arm strength.
Smith now is the #1 receiver in the CFL. Ray Elgard has had back-to-back standout games for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
First and 10 on the Argo 34.
He had been the leader coming into this game.
You got it, Keith.
Keith White on the sidelines taking that quick toss from Warren Jones with 1:43 remaining. He only got a yard for this effort.
Just a quick out pattern. Well, you know, you get the opportunity to get a guy like Jones or Steve Taylor, either one, into the ball game, and same with Ricky Foggy. They need all the playing time they can get. There's no substitute for that experience, and the only place you get it's on the field.
Colbert is wide open. He's caught by Gaines, but not before he gets inside the 10-yard line.
Excellent timing on that pattern. When your quarterback sprints out, the receiver has to go a little bit deeper to allow him time to set. He throws it on a line, and he's got great separation between himself and Reggie Pleasant. Throws it right on the money.
They spot the ball back at the 10-yard line. It's first and goal.
I know the Eskimos keep finding quarterbacks, don't they? Just keep coming up with it.
Trying to hit Keith right at the goal line. It will be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Jones is a little upset with himself. He got the ideal situation. He had the halfback right up on the slot back, and he knows from that alignment he can go in the hole right behind him. And he just can't get it down inside. He can't get it up. He gets it too low. Watch it. Little bit too low. Needed it up about another 3 feet. See if he comes back with it.
2nd and goal from the 10. Wide open in the end zone, Jordan Gartner, his first regular season catch and his first CFL touchdown.
5th-round draft choice, as you mentioned, Dom, University of Saskatchewan. Jones shows great field vision, too. He had a receiver wide open on the right. He wasn't able to throw it because he had to escape the rush. He wheeled to his left, and he finds Gartner all by himself over there. He's got the guy he wants right up the middle, but he can't get planted. Now he's going to escape, turns and looks outside, all by himself over there. Nothing to it.
University of Saskatchewan Husky product, a native of Moose Jaw. Jordan Gartner makes it 55-29, and Ray McElready will add the point after. 1:09, the time remaining. Talked about Gartner being nicknamed RoboCop. In training camp, the coaching staff said one day, anybody here who has held for converts? Gartner said, I've never done it, but I'll try. He's got the job.
And that also helps you make the club. The more things you can do, the more valuable you are to a team. Now you see Jones scrambling. See him scrambling around. Finds Gartner all alone. But that, as you say, they needed a holder. That's what they had to have. Anybody done it? No, but I'm willing to try it. And as a result, he's on the roster, and he's playing football, and he's very happy about it.
And tonight, he gets his first pro reception, and it's a touchdown.
Well, if you're going to catch one, don't catch them unless they're going to be touchdowns.
The ball bounces away from John Field, and I suppose that's somewhat typical of the type of night it has been for the Toronto Argonauts. Interceptions cost them early, as well as a fumble. And what won't show up in the statistics, the 3 fumbles that they managed to recover, but that killed drive.
Yeah, that does. You know, even if you get the ball back, so what? You don't gain any yardage. You kill yourself, and you can't afford to make mistakes against a team like the Eskimos.
Now Don Matthews can think ahead to his Saturday date with his former team, the BC Lions. I wonder if Ricky Foggy is thinking ahead to that game.
Well, you know he's looking ahead. He's looking ahead to that one. I guess maybe Matt Dunnigan is too.
to Clemens. Bass is after him. Can't catch him.
That's pretty good effort by Clemens. He had traffic in the backfield. And he not only got inside him, he picked up about 7 yards.
56-29. Our fears confirmed tonight at Commonwealth Stadium. The Eskimos coming off that loss to the Saskatchewan Roughriders, turning this one into a rout.
Second and 4, Argonauts, 25.
47 seconds remaining. Foggy's going to run this one and get a first down.
Ricky Foggy running the ball.
Larry Ruck made the tackle, but not before Foggy picked up first down yardage.
Foggy's done a good job since he's come in there. You can see this is the most that I think I've ever seen him play. You know, I don't know why. I just haven't seen him in some of the games he's been in, but he's showing pretty good action, pretty good athletic ability tonight of running, throwing, vision.
Yeah, I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Yes, he's got Jeff Boyd wide open. Jeff Boyd is going to get to the end zone. "76 yards, Ricky Foggy to Jeff Boyd. That's 3 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter for Ricky Foggy.
Well, I'll tell you, Foggy showed something there. He dropped straight back, looked to his left for a long time, but when he turned and let it go, he whiz. Watch, Clemens comes out. He's looking to his left. He plants. Now watch the throw. Right on the button. Catches it in stride. Stops. Picks up a block right there, I believe, from Darryl Smith. And then Masadi will come, or I'm sorry, it's Andrew Murray comes over, kind of screens the other guy. Jeff Boyd goes in for a 76-yard touchdown.
Lance Chomick adds the point after. 56-36, 92 points tonight at Commonwealth Stadium. There's been no shortage of offense this year in the CFL.
I don't think we were expecting quite that many points. Watch the throw. Step, throw, on the line, on the money.
Now you'll see this hit coming from the other side of the field on Clark.
There it is. You'll see number 1. Oh, that'll slow you down a little bit.
Now, how do you account for Ricky Foggy coming in a period of 48 hours, picking up, or at least appearing to have picked up the Toronto offense so well?
Well, he had the offense with Adam Rita when he was in BC, when Adam was the offensive coordinator there. It's just a matter of readjusting your thinking a little bit and you know, going back and remembering before what it was. He probably doesn't understand the offense completely, but he understands enough of it to know you have to throw the ball.
Clark on the return brings it down to the 26-yard line with 5 seconds remaining. Now, if they were attempting the short kickoff there, or trying to bounce that ball to enable some of the people on the kickoff team to try and recover, that was far too deep.
Yeah, too deep. You're never going to be able to get that far downfield before one of they can get to the football. I think he's just trying to kick it down there and hold him to a short return and get the game over. See if he's not going to throw it. I thought we'll see if Warren Jones wants to throw one in the end zone.
Fans are booing. They want the Eskimos to go for more. But Jones is going to drop to one knee. 2 seconds remain. And now this will be the final play of the ball game.
Take a chance.
Joe Farragelli in a much happier frame of mind tonight than he was a week ago at Taylor Field in Regina. And the Eskimo record improves to 5-3. As the Edmonton Eskimos move within a point of the Calgary Stampeders, the leaders in the Western Division. However, Joe Farragelli's team has played one more game. The Calgary Stampeders will be in action tomorrow night at Winnipeg Stadium against the Blue Bombers. 56-36, the final score.
This game proves it doesn't matter how shoddy the Eskimos might have been on the road a week ago. They're always tough at home, and didn't the Argos find that out tonight as the Eskimos extend their home winning streak to 14 games. They break the 50-point mark. Another team that's usually tough at home is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They'll host the Hamilton Ticats in what could be a key East Division game on Sunday, September 9th, the telecast on the CFL on CBC. On Sports Weekend on Sunday, big-time car racing comes to the streets of Vancouver, the Molson Vancouver Indy. Thanks for watching tonight. Good night from Edmonton.